Welcome everyone to another episode of the Wood from the Trees podcast. I really hope you enjoy this episode. And if you like what we're doing and you'd like to support us, go to patreon.com/the Wood from the Trees. Hope you enjoy the episode. Love you loads. Today on the podcast we have Eddie Durkan. Martin Maloney.
Man the boys.
Well, what's the crack?
The crack is I just drove from Mayo. Fuck me, man. Some roads.
It's bad, isn't it? Well, it wasn't a great evening for it.
It wasn't, but it cleared up when we got to Athlone.
You came down on your own?
Yeah.
Didn't bring the woman?
I didn't. Left her be.
You're fucking right.
Had to be done.
You come back to visit family or work?
A bit of both. Yeah, this time it's been a lot of... It's funny, like I rented this... I got to give the shout out to the boys at Enterprise in Dublin, Killian and Mark, because I got quoted up in Knock. Got a generous touch, but I left it too late for the rental. And on the day of flying back, I was looking it up to see if I get any better deals. And then I was like, oh, I better give them a shout up in Knock. And then you one who would give me a very good deal now. She wasn't working that day. And I thought to myself, it's steep, man. It's awful steep. So I thought to myself, these lads look like boys who would be fans of the Hardy Bucks.
Right.
And fair play to the lads. They were. And
how much?
A nice touch.
How much did you rent a car, roughly?
Well, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to get the boys in bother, like.
Yeah, well, don't give numbers, just roughly. If you want to rent a car now in the morning.
Oh, I mean, how much would it cost to rent a car in Ireland? Oh, it's crazy, man. If I was looking at a Ford car for 2.5 weeks, fully comp is €1,000.
Yeah, buy you a pile of shine and drive around the place. Would you be doing a lot of driving?
I would, yeah.
Sure, because doing gigs,
yeah, if you're doing gigs, but it's just handy to have, like, if you're in any rural community at all, you need a car.
What do you drive out in Sweden?
Volvo.
Of course you do.
Volvo is brilliant. Like I used to be like, Audis and BMWs, but actually I really like Volvos. I think they're if you need to accelerate out of a bit of a situation, but the brakes are brilliant on. The one I have there is it's a X60 T6 350 bhp.
It's a petrol hybrid.
Petrol hybrid, yeah. They're great. Yeah, that Ford Ranger you have is nice.
It's not a petrol hybrid.
It's not what
it's just a full on petrol.
Oh, it's petrol, is it?
Yeah.
Jeez, must pass everything but a petrol pump.
That's about the size of it.
Is it a Raptor, is it?
Yeah, not one of my best financial decisions, but sure, look, I'm stuck with it now.
But it looks good.
You just have to stay paying for it.
He's the big man around town. I like the...
There's a lot of bigger men than me around town.
I'd say there is. Leash is renowned for
big men.
Big men. Small county, big men.
You got married to a Swedish girl, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And how'd you meet her?
Oh, I met her 20 years ago, but I'm divorced now.
Oh, you're not with the Swedish woman now?
No, but we get on very well. I was part of the catch and release program.
Yeah, and you got released.
Got released, yeah, and into another touch for 4 years. But the girlfriend I have now is I'm very happy with her now.
She's Swedish as well.
She is Swedish, yeah.
You just went full on for the Swedes.
Well, I mean, it would have been easier if I found a woman from my hometown. That would have been brilliant. You know, like there's a lot to be said. You could have in jokes, but for someone I've met from a completely different culture, this girl has the same sense of humor as myself.
Can you speak Swedish?
Jag talar svenska, jag ganska bra faktiskt.
Ska vi knulla?
Inte ikväll.
Jesus Christ.
So you enjoyed Sweden, did you?
Yeah, the lads, the only people we knew at the time were the John Deere mechanics. And bastards. I asked them where the toilets meant or where the toilets are, and he goes, "Oh, ska vi knulla," and it's can we fuck?
Yeah.
They were not happy. They don't have that kind of sense of humor.
No, they're very. The Swedes, they're great people, very nice people, but they're very serious.
They're so good looking.
Where
do they put the fat and ugly people?
Oh, they exist. They do. You just got to go onto Swedish TikTok lives, and you'll see interesting shape throwers. Did you hear that?
What the fuck was that?
It was the haunted dump valve.
Something outside. Yeah. We were out there, so we were working, and we had 2 sawmen working with us. Young lads, about 23 or 4 at the time, bit like tanks. Men's men.
Yeah.
Men's men.
Square-headed lads.
Big square-headed lads, men's men. Long hair, blonde highlights, the works, right? But really serious, worked really hard, and we were all going out for our first night out, right?
Whereabouts in Stockholm?
No, this night we were heading into, there was some festival on in Kristianstad, right? Some festival on.
Where's Kristianstad? Up north, is it?
Yeah, no, it's down south a little bit more. It's down south, yeah. So we were in Kristianstad, lovely place, lovely town, but they're mad into pop bands playing in pubs early. Everyone goes out early.
Yeah.
And they drink in the house and then they head out.
Yeah.
And everyone's sophisticated and they're dressed really well.
Pre-party, as they call it.
The pre-party.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they drink really fucking sophisticated. There's never any of this bar hopping, trying to get a drink. Everyone's really calm.
Yeah.
But we were trying to get ready and the boys were up putting on fake tan on each other.
Lumberjacks.
Yeah. Putting on fake tan. Now, as I say that, I could not get a woman out there. Right?
You couldn't?
God, feared hard to get a woman. Took me ages.
I did a bit too much womanizing out there. But that's because I was in Stockholm.
Did they watch your programs? Was it the
This was long before Hardy Bucks. Like, I went out there as a 20-year-old.
Why?
Because I was living out in Greece and I went to Interrail when I was 19. And all the lads were like...
Find yourself?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I was working on the sites with my brother-in-law and my dad, Vinny Maloney.
Yeah.
And we were up in Dublin for a year and a half. And there was a painter on the job. Oh, sorry, a carpenter called Neil Nolan. He used to call me Ashtray. He was like, Ashtray, pass me that 2x4. Ashtray, roll me a joint. Ashtray. And I was like, why'd you keep calling me Ashtray? Because you're about as bleeding much use as an ashtray on a motorbike. And I was like, nice. But himself and his uncle, a guy called Brian Conway, a real cool... Martin, did you ever hear of Rory Gallagher? He was unreal. Like, he was getting me into all these cool tunes. And my brother-in-law was a cool dude from the UK. And they'd all gone interrailing and in their younger years. And they were all saying, just head off. So I was thinking, all right, I'll put it to the lads. And they were like, yeah, we'll get the tickets. No one bought the tickets. And I was the only one there with a ticket. So I was like, fine, I'll go by myself. And I ended up going around Europe and had an amazing time.
Oh, you're nervous at first?
Oh, yeah. Like, my first night, I ended up sleeping on a park bench with some fella on the other side called Morris. So I was 19, this lad was 20. And I was like, right, we'll go to the Hash Cafe, buy some weed, and then we'll figure out a hostel. And I ended up smoking this and absolutely losing the plot altogether. And then I put my hand in piss. Pulled a whitey. And now the thing is, I bought
in a different country.
In a different country. And I'd never been outside of Ireland or the UK before. And people, it sounded like they were talking, the Dutch accent, it sounded like Scousers talking.
Hurdy-gurdy.
And I was like, well, they're going to mug me and take me backpack. And yeah, ended up, long story short, woke up at about 6 o'clock in the morning to the sound of a moped screeching past and going like this. And I'm just having a bit of a panic attack, wondering where the hell I was. And this other header he just had carrier bags and lots of stuff with him, with like parts of keyboards and computers with him. And I said, I'm going to head to Groningen because I had a cousin who was living up there at the time. I said, what are you doing? I think I'll probably go out to the airport and look at the plane, Schiphol. I was like, all right, well, best of luck to you. And I never seen him again. Then I ended up in Brussels and then Paris, Barcelona. So when I was in Barcelona, I met these two Ecuadorian legends, Miguel and Braulio. And I was big into Jim Morrison, The Doors and all that kind of stuff at the time. And they were like, hey, man, this American Prayer album, that's the best album ever, man. So I had these like little speakers and a Discman. We were listening to Thin Lizzy and The Doors, and I got on brilliantly with them. And we took the night train down to Barcelona. That was a rough spot, man. This, even back in 2002, was just everyone going, hey, man, you want to buy hash?
How had your money?
I traveller's checks that I would have in one of them little bum bags. The ones that you stick under the belt. And they were a nightmare altogether because you'd cash them and you'd be on a... I went out with about €400 for a month and ended up getting badly sunburnt on the beach. And then that, like, it was a bad doing. It wasn't the first time, it wouldn't be the last. And I ended up getting sunstroke. And a few days after that, I left the boys in Barcelona. I was like, I'll give you a shout and we'll meet up in Greece. And so I met these two legends called Scotty and Carl from Gal Coast. They were maybe late 20s, early 30s, and they were taking this bus about thing, and I had the Interrail, so we were doing parallel trips. Met them in, we went to Nice, had the crack in Nice for a few days, then did the same thing, went to Venice, and I remember just walking around Venice in the middle of nowhere looking for this campsite called Fusina. First time I ever seen like glowflies as I was walking. I was, whoa, what the hell's that? And went there. That was a big party kind of campsite. Went into Venice then, got my bank card got stuck in a machine. Then I had to work in a laundrette with some big fat lad who couldn't speak any English. And he was going, uno, due, quanto, questo, brava, si, comprende, si. I'm like, oh yeah. And I realised he couldn't speak any English, so I was just talking shite to him in English and about his mum and whatnot. And ended up meeting lads from Canada and New Zealand, and then we went to Athens. And then so the lads who I was working with on my sister and brother-in-law's house, they said, go to Ios in Greece. It was a party island full of nutters, and they were right. And I was on my way, feeling a bit lonely now. It was the first time I was by myself, and the name of the boat we were heading on was called the Poseidon. So you know the Poseidon Adventure. And it was like this in the harbour, and it was a misty morning. I was like, oh God.
Fuck this shite.
Yeah, fuck this shite.
It's a bad omen.
Yeah. Who did I meet on the boat? Two Ecuadorian lads. And there was a massive celebration, and we met these two German finers, and we were hanging out with them. And then as the trip went on in Greece, I met two Irish lads called Cathal McHugh and John O'Hughes from the kind of Dunleary area. And then I met this lad, Sasha, this dreadlock nutter, who had a load of street dogs with him. Another friend who I see regularly in Sweden, Alan O'Neill.
You still live in Sweden?
Yeah, we went back to Sweden the following year with Sasha. Because the following year we went back for the summer. And we turned into like crusties at the end of the summer. Like there was no washing machines or anything. We just the smell of gank off us and dog hair and everything when we had this journey from Eos to Stockholm. And Sasha was like, oh, what are you doing in September? And I was like, well, I really should go back and do television in Ballyfermot. And he was like, do you want to go to Sweden? And I was like, Sweden? And there was like a good gang of Swedes.
Was this a break you had took before you went back to college or something? Or
Yeah, so it was like a summer kind of break.
And before you went on the break, did you have an idea what you wanted to do?
I was going to go back and do television and film.
So how did you get into that? Like in school, like?
Oh, well, because back in the day, like, so I was...
School plays, all that sort of stuff?
No, I was never into that kind of stuff. And we
Singing?
No, like it started that when that started when I was 17. I was going on a bit of a bike ride around the golf course in Swinford with this lad, Brian Turbot, a friend of mine. And we were coming around a bit too fast. I hit the front brake, slid off, had an accident and scraped myself up pretty badly. And then there was two brothers, Stephen and Tony Lenihan, came afterwards on the bikes with Peter Cassidy. They crashed over us. So there's a big pile of us just lying on the gravel. So they were like, come up to the house, we'll patch you up, give you a cup of tea. They fed me and they were like, do you like music? And I was like, yeah, I can't play anything. And they're like, oh, it's easy. And then they started playing like Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger and REM. And I was looking,
like, I'd like a piece of that.
Yeah, and I was just looking, I was like, these are lads from the Heights who are playing class tunes. And fair play to Stephen Lennon, he drew out the chords for me and let me borrow his guitar. And that was it then, I was hooked. And so that's when I got into music. But like our town doesn't really, like I was in Foxford on Sunday night. I was picking up my brother-in-laws and a few other lads. They went to the storehouse and the crack in Foxford, the place was jammed. There was a big Cayley session on in the front. And there's not really that kind of culture in Swinford and our town, which is a shame because there's some very talented musicians. And if I was...
It's so near other good towns though.
Well, the thing is, this is something I was thinking about. Like, towns near to you, would you know anyone in those towns? Well, you probably would now that you're a public figure, but...
I don't know, we'd know a good few around town.
But the thing is, there's no way of getting around. Like if you wanted to go out and have a couple of pints in another town, like in Mayo, like I don't know anyone in Charlestown or Culture or Foxwood, but yet they're only about 9 kilometers away because of the hassle of.
But did you say you would have shared your time between the UK and Ireland?
Yeah, so my parents were both Swinford,
Yeah,
and they had to emigrate in the 70s, same crack as usual, and we were born in the UK. And
but you were home a lot every summer.
Yeah, so we were raised as Irish over there, and that wasn't really a problem. We were just accepted as there's another kid in my class, like where I was in Wallasey, which was a suburb of Liverpool, like. Half the names in the school were Irish names because there was a lot of Irish that went to Liverpool as well as Manchester, Leeds,
I have a lot of cousins in Liverpool.
Do you?
Yeah, Heffernans.
Heffernans?
Yeah.
And where are they based?
Liverpool somewhere. One of them was on that, One Born Every Minute?
Yeah.
She was one of the midwives.
Really?
On that.
Fair
Yeah.
play, sure.
Yeah. But Liverpool's massive.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
I used to be in my brother's band.
You did?
And, yeah.
What were you playing?
We used to play the Irish Centre in Liverpool and all them places.
Yeah.
Sean Cuddy, did you ever hear him?
Sean Cuddy.
Are you digging him, Dylan? Are you digging him?
Would you?
Are you playing him, Dylan?
See, my older sisters played in Cayley bands and did the Irish dancing, and I didn't. It was kind of a bit before my time, but there used to be the old Irish Centre that was in Liverpool city centre, and I hadn't gone back to Liverpool for about 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, and so last year we played at the Irish Centre, and there's people who I remember when the family friends I haven't seen for years, and they turned up to it. Now what they thought of the show now was a different ball game.
Was it the Hardy Book show or your own one?
The one with the 3 bucks left.
3
lads.
bucks.
Yeah. But it was nice to go back to the Irish Centre.
Did you ever do the one in Cricklewood? Galtymore?
No, I didn't actually. It's good crack, is it?
I think you'd fucking fill out that.
I think
that's a big one.
We'll have to give the boys a shout. We're available for gigs. Just give us the shout.
Down
Cuddy will sort us out.
So when you came back after finding yourself, had you started doing a little bit of stand-up or writing anything, or had you a concept for anything when you were travelling, like thinking when you had a bit of drink and you going, do you know what, it'd be great?
Oh yeah, but back in the day there wasn't access to, like, I remember I bought a camcorder when I was 17, and so we were hanging out with Chris, who plays the Viper, and we would just be filming us just doing daft shit around the town, and then Jackass came out and we were a gang of jackasses, I suppose. And we wanted to get into it, but it was like how
do you do it?
Yeah, how do you do it? And so I went to Ballyfermot and did this presentation, performance and media course. It's bullshit.
Fuck, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's got the archive somewhere. DV tapes of me trying to do the weather.
You should be trying to find that.
I remember it was about 2003. I had the long hair at that stage. I was like, cool man, leather jacket, and
you look more like Viper.
Yeah, shades, man. And I was in front of this this green screen trying to do the weather. It was like me on the TV up there, and I remember I couldn't get it right. I went, oh, for fuck's sake! And there's this lecturer who's wearing a pair of Aprilia leather biker pants, and he goes, "Who said that? Who said that?" And I went, "Me." That is so unprofessional. So unprofessional. So unprofessional. Do you know there was a woman working on Waterford Radio? She swore, job gone. And I was like, just as well I don't want to work on Waterford Radio. So that was my memories of that.
Was college shit for you?
Yeah, I thought college was going to be like Van Wilder or, these American college movies I was raised watching.
Great fucking movie, that.
Yeah.
I've had this before.
Van Wilder 2.
The dog sperm. All the dog sperm in it.
I haven't seen it for about 20 years now.
I love that movie.
Or Animal House or like some daft shite that you'd see in American movies, but it was just a lot of work, and then having to babysit my goddaughter as well, which started off as a favour and then somehow became
a job.
It was something I had to do. So I'd be hanging out with my friends, Owen and Ruth and Dav, these sound dolls who I met out in Greece, and they lived over by Parnell Street in this lovely apartment. So we'll go over there and hang out. Next thing I get the call, where are you? I'm like, oh, fuck, I'll be back later on. So that was a bit of a nightmare, but the rent was cheap. So it was a bit of a trade-off.
Yeah.
Became a favour, but just became something taken for granted. So the sister was doing, she was studying interior design in Griffiths College.
She's making a ball of money now.
She's doing well. Yeah, nice house out in the Cotswolds with a swimming pool.
Nice.
Doing well, yeah.
The Cotswolds, you know. No cheap
Jeremy
houses
Clarkson
there.
land, not to stop your nonsense.
I'd love to be a billionaire. The things I'd do that wouldn't be right.
Oh, daft shite. Daft old shite.
If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? Would you go find yourself again? Slip into oblivion? Or would you do something different?
You know, it's a good question because I think to myself, if I had mad money, what would I do? I think I'd definitely get into motorsport. That'd be like, I've always been big into cars, but I'd get myself a nice Audi A6. Well, RS6.
I was going to fucking hate you there. I was going to say, that lad's up saying he's in the car and he wanted a fucking old diesel.
No, I meant to say an
RS6.
RS6. Yeah. Because what I like about that as a car is it looks respectable. You can throw the kids in there. And
how many kids have you?
Two I know of.
Two and what?
Two I know of.
Two and know of?
Yeah.
Are you as fertile as Stephen? No one's as fertile as Stephen.
He's dangerously fertile, that lad.
He's on a new program now.
I seen that. Yeah, we'll go back to the mad money thing. We can go through that.
Yeah,
we can fantasize about that. But he was on TV3 there, and the promo video they used, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, man.
He's going to do it again.
Like, I'm not far right, I'm just right so far. And you know what I mean, hey? And I was just like, oh, God. And then when I seen it, he actually came off the best a lot.
I never seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it'll just fucking wreck your head at the end of it. It's just a lot of people try. I mean, like, I'm sure everyone individually are grand to have a conversation with, do you know what I mean? But it was just an awful lot of talking over each other. And
I wouldn't do it if I was paid €1 million.
Well, I wouldn't myself. Like, reality TV it's not reality TV. Like, basically, if someone gets the edit, they can edit it.
It's these cunts of producers putting all these people together, looking for reactions to bring out the worst in everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
For entertainment.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I can do that on my own.
Yeah. Well, at least you'd have your own edit.
Yeah.
But I think he came off very well. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what the next couple of episodes are. But
we digressed anyway. So you have all the money in the world. What are you doing? Forget about your car. How was your life? What are you going to do?
I mean, you'd have to do you'd have to do good with it as well. Like, you know, I mean, I feel like if I had a shitload of money sitting in the bank and I didn't do anything charitable, the conscience wouldn't be good. Like, I obviously sort the family out, so I'd start up a couple of charities, something to do with definitely looking after street dogs, and that's how I ended up in Sweden. I forgot to mention that was the dogs, taking the dogs to Greece. So yeah, I don't know. I'd like to put my money into projects that promote peace and prosperity, and I don't say that in a kind of in a throwaway totemistic way. I feel like I've always been the kind of person that likes to bring people together and try and work things out peacefully, despite the antics of the Hardy Bucks character, which I guess he's not a bad lad either, like, you know. But with the charitable stuff out the way, I just have a fucking good time, man. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to do.
You have a production company, don't you?
Yeah, well, there's not much being produced lately. Like,
but if you had loads of money,
I'd be making stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
What would you like to make? What would be your dream thing to make?
I'd say it'd be like, one thing I always liked to do was I mean, as a guitarist, it'd be nice to like go and interview people like Josh Homme from Queen of Stone Age and Slash from Guns N' Roses, and like people like that, and just have that kind of the clout where you could go and sit down with them and, you know, go on the piss with Keith Richards and film that, and do it traveling as well, I suppose. And I'd like to take the kids with me and show them the world, like, as well.
If you were talking to Keith Richards, what would you like to ask him? What's the three questions you'd love to ask him? Your favourite guitarist?
No, I'd say favorite guitarists. It's a good question. That is a cool. I mean, I don't even know the name of the guitarist from Lynyrd Skynyrd, which is a bit sacrilegious, but
I wouldn't either.
They're great guitarists. Nuno Betancourt from Extreme, fantastic guitarist. Zach Wilde, but these are like hard rock guitarists. Rory Gallagher was obviously. Jimmy Page, Eddie Van Halen, and there's other lads that are gonna pop up later on. I'll be like, why didn't I mention this lad? Your man Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit. Like he's seriously underrated, and it's funny because Limp Bizkit was one of those bands that I got into when I was 18, and that got banished to the bottom of the CD pile about a year or two after. But it was
Why
only,
is that? I thought they were good. They had a couple of good songs.
They were good, but you know, it's kind of like because we were younger at the time. It was like, oh, I was into that when I was younger, and it kind of became a bit passé at the time. But now they've really come back again, and I mean, like I don't really know what's going on musically. I kind of just have compiled a playlist over the past 12 years and just keep adding songs.
I've noticed when I was younger, I'd be the same generation as you. I'm 45.
Yeah.
And you heard a song, you liked one or two of these songs, you bought that album.
Yeah.
You listened to that album and you had a little secret code with other people. You knew, oh, number 7 on that album. Oh, that's my favourite song. But now everything's a clip from TikTok and then they listen to that artist. Yeah. And nobody listens to the whole song. So there is no full album anymore.
Well, you were invested in it because back in the day, like part of the crack would be to go to, there used to be a great secondhand records store on St. George's Street, or was it Camden Street in Dublin, and it was near where Zaytoon is. And I used to love going in there and finding like secondhand CDs. That's where my journey of listening to music began. And you'd buy an album and you were invested in it. You're like, all right, I've spent 15 quid.
You couldn't wait to listen to it.
Yeah. And it was a bit annoying if it was like one or two good songs. Yeah. And then it was like...
That happened to me with No Mercy. I remember buying No Mercy. Where do you go, my lovely?
I want to know.
Where do you go? Oh. But I bought that album and I was there. Bought that album.
That was a ballsy move, man.
That was a fair shit album. That was a fair shit album. It was fucking terrible. But I was raging. And then you have ones that are really good. Like, I listen to fucking any music, you know? Like, I fucking love Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yeah. Owen Colgan's a great man for pop music. Like,
yeah.
So, like, he'd be listening to, like, I noticed there's a lot of Boys to Men references in the Hardy books. I was like, Boys to Men, how random is that? How do I say goodbye? But he'd be listening to all, like, this R&B stuff.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, so my girlfriend, Bella, she's big into
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. Bella, lovely name, lovely girl. And so like one thing that me and the lads used to enjoy back in the day was watching X Factor fails, and so you're
saying you like watching bad singers?
Yeah, I love it, man. Like, I think it's...
Hey, you could be my spirit animal.
Are you the same way,
It's my favourite genre now on TikTok.
I love it.
Look, I just gave this lad about 160 or 170 euro.
What's the name?
I bought his merch. Just Tatum is his name.
Yeah.
And he sings all the worst songs.
Is it the bald lad from TikTok Live? It's just some bald lad on... He's always on TikTok.
I'm going to show you. He's... I love him because he just does not give a fuck.
It's beautiful whiskey, by the way.
Isn't it?
Oh.
Is that the nicest whiskey you've ever... No, you don't have to tell me now.
I don't know, because, you know, there's times where you'd be at a session and someone would pull out... Oh. And is he serious?
100%.
Oh, it's better, man. I love. Do you know?
He's such a nice fella.
Oh, well, that's even better again.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like, I'll tell you how much I love, like, that genre of singing. Do you ever watch that? It was a viral clip years ago on X Factor. It was probably about 20 years ago. It was like, next up is Stephen from Sheffield, and he's like, I've been protested against picking sides, but my name's Stephen. It's beautiful to be here. And he's like, why are you here out of interest? Well, I've got the looks, I've got the character, I've got the personality, I've got the confidence. And Shannon was like, and the talent. Okay, off you go. Well, anyway, what's been happening, man? Got all your posters on your pictures, man. I just hit me back. It's your biggest fan, to Stan. 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. Looks, personality, talent, no. Still got the confidence. Well, I've been told different. By who? I've been told different by a lot of people. What do you think? He just goes to Louis Walsh. What do you think? I agree with him. I'm speechless. And it goes on, and he leaves anyway. He's like, but that's not the last. That's not all we've heard from Stephen, because Stephen had a few rhymes of his own. He goes, Simon Cowell, he thinks he's it. He's nothing but a soul. Louis Walsh, you're a lot Westlife, they're okay, but you're an asshole. You don't know shit about music. Sharon Osbourne's daughter Kelly has got as much talent as a piece of shit on my shoe. And he walks off and he's gone. And they brought him back a few years later with his girlfriend, who had some unfortunate dental problems. Yeah. And they're bringing a child on, and it looks like that had taken a toll on the poor lad, because everyone's fucking Stephen from Sheffield. And he comes out and Louis Walsh goes, geez, you put on a few pounds there, Stephen. I know, yeah, working in the office now, nah. And so she goes on, does a bad, like an average at best rendition of Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On.
Brave move.
Oh, yeah, but the funny thing, it's always like, I want to be more popular than Whitney Houston. Or it's like Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, or Celine Dion, or Beyonce. I mean, like, some of the most highly
best
regarded vocalists
in the world.
Yeah. And it's like, fair play. You know, like you reach for the stars, you hit the branches, but no, I don't think they've ever heard themselves singing. And she does that, and she comes out afterwards after not getting it, and she goes, as soon as I mention your name.
She blamed Stephen.
Yeah, she blamed poor old Stephen. But when the Hardy Bucks was doing the lookalike competition in 2010 in the first series, I wanted to get him in it as Eminem, as a lookalike, just because we watched it so many times, me and Owen and the boys, that to us, like, I just thought, we've got to get this lad in it. And then we phoned up the pub in Sheffield where, like, I did some research, and some lad goes, yeah, he drinks in this pub. So I left, I think it was like the Black Bull pub in Sheffield, and I said, could you please leave Stephen a message to call me back on this number? I was on my way up to Dublin one day, and I get this phone call from an English number, and he goes, hello, Martin? I'm like, yeah, who's this? Stephen. I'm like, Stephen who?
From Sheffield.
Stephen from Sheffield. And I was like, fucking hell, man. And I think that was the most starstruck I was.
Did you get him after?
Well, I mean, I was. It didn't work out. I can't remember what happened, and I was just like, "How much do you want?" He would have done it for free, but I was like, "Well, how much do you fucking $2,000?" What? But like, it didn't work out, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd love to get that lad on a podcast, find out what it's like. That's something that would be great, just to do. Like an interview of like the guys, because when X Factor and all that gets to the stages where people start getting good, it's like the next round, join us at next round. It's like, that's boring then, you know. It's but for me the gold was, and especially if you go back to the vintage, like, I'm so autistic the way I'm talking about, is like really into it. Do you know what I mean? I sound like, but I spent so much time enjoying.
Did you ever do X Factor? Did you ever try and do it?
Do you know what? I've often wondered how I would get on, because like I'm by trade, I'm a musician, and
it's not on now anymore, is it?
No, it's not. But apparently they said it's not on because they just make so much money out of YouTube clips that they don't need to bother making a new one. So
it was a weird time, because that was pre social media, so that was people's only outlet to actually get exposure. Where now with social media, people can do it themselves. But the music industry is totally changed now. There's people with so much talent, write their own music, and they will go to a record studio and they will say, come back when you have 50,000 followers.
It's mad. It's leverage. It's the numbers are basically, it's mad, like, because
there's so little money in it because it's streaming.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean,
unless you're gigging.
Yeah, the gigging is what's bringing people back out of retirement, because like, but previously, like the record labels would take so much out of what the artist. Like, I watched the thing, an interview a couple of years ago. It was a guy called Steve Albini, or Dave Albini. I think it was Steve Albini. He was a record producer, and he told how much money would be deducted by record labels. So when it went from vinyls to CDs, that was more expensive because they'd be like, 20% of them unfortunately got damaged during packaging. They'd have their own in-house designers who do the label, and the amount of skimming off the top they do. And then if you were like, because back in the day, to even get into to do a demo was
huge money in a
huge
record.
money,
Yeah.
And then
that was peak technology at the time.
Yeah,
and you needed it, and you needed a demo tape. And record companies just owned you then. They give you a contract.
So look at
put the van on the road.
Like they were getting fleeced for years. Like they were skinned.
The guys that knew what they were doing was the likes of Aslan. Remember back in the day? Did you ever go see Aslan?
Oh, we seen him in Castlebar.
So you'd buy your ticket, right? And then at the end of the night, everyone would be buying their CDs. Your man that plays the drums, you have the big box of CDs, €10, €10, cash.
But you know what I liked about Aslan? Like you could see them at the Olympia, and then
they'd be in a pub.
Or shed out the back of someone's gaff. You know, like
they just gigged the shit out of it.
Fair play to them. And I think
were you ever in a band?
You see, I don't know why. Like in Sweden, like if I was in Ireland, like I've been in bands, we've been in rehearsals, but it's never really had a band. I'd love to have a band. So if there's anyone listening to this
in Sweden,
well,
Nu ska vi knulla.
Nu ska vi knulla.
Viking.
Whether in Sweden here, like, and I'd be willing. I just want to get an album out, and I have done I have an album out, or like an EP out. I did about 5-6 years ago on Spotify.
Original stuff.
Yeah, Martin Maloney, Constant Battle, and check it out. It's good, man. You know, it's a grand EP.
Do you like write the thing tune?
I did, man. Yeah. But it's a rock and roll album. It's grand. Have a listen to it. It's pretty short. It's about 25 minutes.
We'll put a link in the bio.
Please do. I'd like that. But I'd like to go in and do an album. But I'm so fucking ADHD. Like I'm a great man with ideas, but it's the boring things like getting people together. And
do you prefer I get the vibe off you. You prefer the music than making content again, like Hardy Books or another series, or
you know what? It's
does that drain you or something? Or you just get burnt out?
Well, there's just so many, there's so many ups and downs because you're in the so I love The Sopranos. So I watch The Sopranos once a year at least. And I just watch it. I'd like to do something like that, like a comedy drama. And then I started watching Boardwalk Empire. I hadn't seen that, and I was enjoying that. And I was thinking it'd be nice to be given the opportunity to do like dramatic roles as well, because I know I'm capable of doing it. And I was in I had a small supporting role in Vikings a couple of years ago, and I was like, here we go, it's finally happening. COVID, divorce, and then I was just fucking wrecked after it all, to be honest with you. And like just doing self-tapes, and people are like, what are you talking about? A self-tape is everyone has to do it. What makes you so special? This kind of vibe.
What is a self-tape?
It's basically an audition, but you have to do a tape. But it's like you'll get an audition in, and it'll be like, okay, we need to get this done by tomorrow. And it's like, I've got kids, I've got shit to do, And
so do you if you want to get into acting roles, do you have to get an agent, or can you do that yourself?
Some people do it themselves. I mean, like,
do you have an agent?
I have two agents. I've one in London and I've one in Ireland. Like, but there doesn't seem to be like I'm watching things from the UK, such as like Jurassic 7. I'm not watching, but I seen like a clip of this Jurassic 7. I was like, I could do that. Yeah. Oh, look at me. I'm some nutter from Manchester. It's like just learn the script, turn up, do the acting. But there's like so much politics in the world of like acting. It's like you owe someone. So that's why it's easy just to go and do it yourself. Like, just get yourself a production company. And nowadays you can actually look at the gear you've got. You can actually go out, record something, edit it together, write your script. You can do it yourself, and then use social media to get out there.
Well, back in the day,
attention. It's eyeballs and attention.
Yeah, but you started Hardy Books on YouTube.
Yeah,
and it was just that sweet spot. It hit a group of people, an age group, and it just got into the zeitgeist. Everyone was talking about it. It's in the vernacular now. People say stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I am after saying to about 7 people today, like I was in Galway, and people know me when I walk into film stations, and who are you having on the podcast? And I go, Martin Maloney. Go, they're green and red and they do you know, like all these
CV,
scenes,
handwritten touch,
all these scenes that you done.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing has done that since in Ireland. Dave McSavage.
Yeah.
So Dave McSavage.
Dave's great guy. Great guys, Dave. Great lad.
But only the two of you. And I don't think those programs would ever be made again.
I wouldn't say that now. When you look at it, I mean, I don't watch TV anymore. I just...
Why?
I don't know if I've got the attention span anymore. But anytime I watch TV, it just annoys me. I get annoyed and I get like... So, I mean, to plug my own podcast, the Hardy Books podcast, there's a lot of it where I just talk about how much I hate adverts. You know, it's just like the idea of... Because when I moved back to Sweden, it's worse in Sweden because they play the same adverts in the same succession.
Do you not have Netflix and stuff?
Oh yeah, we do. So that's why I just like 10 years or what was it, 11 years ago to move back to Sweden. I was like, I can't be bothered with this. It'd be like, I remember one Christmas, maybe like 2011 or 12. It was like, next up, TV film, Scarface, and I was like, brilliant, Scarface is on, and then I was like. The first advert break came on and I was like, okay, there's going to be another 7 ad breaks. So this 90 odd minute movie is going to be like 2.5 hours. I could just go onto ISO Hunt and download it and watch it. The only thing that's good about TV is the randomness of what's on. Like, oh yeah, this is interesting. I'll watch this. That's the only thing that's appealing about television is the fact that it's been scheduled. But if I watch television now, like it's like 51st Dates Australia. It's like, this is what is it? Married at First Sight.
Yeah, I don't watch any of them.
It's shite, man, and it's shite.
But there's so much fucking different programs everyone can watch.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about the internet.
What's your favorite comedy series?
I think
American first.
American. Well, I'd consider Sopranos a comedy. As well, it's a comedy drama. Or I think the best way to sum up Sopranos is it's 51% drama, 49% comedy. I think that's some of the finest.
Well, what about sitcoms?
The Joey Show.
Joking.
I love the way like this is a reference from a TV show from 20 years ago. I don't know, like
Alf.
Alf Stewart, mate.
No, Alf the alien. You don't remember
out of America, like, I'm trying to think of good American.
Did you watch Parks and Recreation?
No, I remember watching a bit of it, and there was too much single camera shaky cam going on. It felt too contrived, and maybe I'm missing something. But the fact that it was on, like just after Home and Away, I was like, well, how edgy can this be? I'm just trying to think of America, like. Trailer Park Boys is fantastic, but that's Canadian. I'm just trying to think of American.
The Office.
English Office is one of my favourite of all time.
Me too.
Oh, might have to know. See you later, yeah.
Bloody good rep.
Bloody good rep. What's a goblin? How do you know that? It's called education. Peep Show. Let's go. We'll start with England first. Peep Show. Brilliant. I haven't watched Catastrophe since 10 years ago, but that was great. Shona Horgan's show. Alan Partridge. Up with a Partridge.
Partridge is brilliant.
Let me see, what else? I used to watch a lot of Red Dwarf when I was a kid.
So did I.
Father Ted is obviously a timeless classic. I remember.
What do you think of the way Graham Lennon was treated?
That whole world, I'm not even going to entertain it. It's like it's the whole subject matter of that is radioactive. But the thing is, look, I'm all for everybody, no matter what their opinion, to have the right to their opinion, and even if I detest that opinion. Like for me, I will fight for someone's right to say that, even though it will annoy me. But I think I don't know, man. The whole thing is very. What's
the vibe out in Sweden? Is it the same as here?
Well, yeah.
It's so fucking depressing listening to the radio every day here.
Man, I don't like radio. Like, where does all our tax money go collectively across the West? Like in Sweden, I was putting 2 invoices in for 2 gigs I played. 60% of that went to VAT and tax. And I was like,
"You're singing to the choir."
Like it's. I remember a couple of years ago seeing some lad on YouTube saying, some American guy saying taxation is theft, and I was like, ooh, but like America, you go to America and you have to pay for everything. Like the healthcare system, it's a racket. The American healthcare system, it's the insurance thing. It's a mess, man. There's no safety net, and sometimes with the states, it feels like it's kind of every man for himself.
Well, as your state becomes bloated and as governments become bloated,
yeah, absolutely,
and you have more and more quangos coming, and money just starts drifting.
Yeah,
away.
but the thing is, this is the thing. So when the government takes your money, which it does, it takes a considerable amount of your earnings, and there's no ombudsman or accountability. There's no updates to show. Okay, let's say you earn €50,000 a year. You're taxed at 30%. Where does that money end up? You know, it's like we were talking earlier on about the roads. So the
go
drive
down to the
from
post office in Morning, you'll know where it goes.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't even say like, yeah, you have there's people out there who are career dolies, right? And that all adds up, but it still pales in comparison to a lot of, like, okay, if you look at multinational corporations or asset holding companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, JP Morgan, they
end up talking about the Jews now.
Scooby Doo's, man. But funny enough, the CEO of BlackRock, but we won't go down that route. But what I would say is like, it's like I guarantee it. So you have a John Deere replica tractor there.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a thought exercise, Google who the biggest shareholder of John Deere is.
Cool.
Yeah, but this all right because
we chat about these things a lot. We do a Patreon every week.
Yeah,
and people ask a lot of questions, and we have people that follow us that live all over the world.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter what country you're in. Most people, nobody minds paying tax.
Yeah, well,
if you think that your money is going where it should go.
Yeah,
and what is making people really angry now is that when people nowadays are saying, "Well, I don't like that," right? I'm uncomfortable with this, and I think this is wrong. And then you're labelled as either, it depends on the topic, but a racist, a bigot, or, you know, you're a fucking very far right nationalist. It doesn't matter what you are. You're just called a name. No discussion.
But the thing you have to, then you have to look into, well, who owns the press? Oh, look at this. Is that John Deere?
Yeah, that is John Deere. The biggest ownership is by Vanguard, followed by BlackRock, State Street Corp, and then JP Morgan.
But we brought
that's something random.
Like we brought up.
I'm telling you, they own everything.
Remember, we brought up the Oak one night here, and it's like nearly a diagram of nearly every company in the world, and it all goes back to 3 companies.
Do you know what? I'm glad. I was like, oh fuck, it probably some random, but it was all four, and the thing is. Most people, you see, the thing is, right, a lot of the let's say the contentious issues across the West is like immigration's a huge one. Like that's like, whoa, don't talk about it. And there's this kind of, like, Stevie talks about it a lot on social media, and I can, like, because you have the cosmopolitan class of people who, you know, they're very, very liberal in terms of immigration and you know, it's kind of like this kind of champagne socialism. It's like, I'm all for it, but you know, well, a lot of these people, they live in their leafy suburbs and they don't want any immigrants living by them. You know, it's this kind of but I see it's the people who are in vulnerable communities in, like, let's say you're Swedes, like, because look at Sweden, like, I live there and I've been living there on and off 22 years. When, like, I was in New York over the summer and I had people coming up to me going, geez, Sweden, man, that's fucking someplace by, it's fucking mad shit happening over there. And I'm like, Sweden? Like, when I went there as a 20-year-old, like, I was one of the dodgiest people there, just being a lad from Swinford. And now it's gone crazy, because the thing is, bringing a whole like I think Sweden must have bought like it since 2015.
But the Swedish government didn't bring over 400 Swedish or Swinford lads and put them in a hotel.
It'd be fucking great if they did. I'd be all for it. Come on, boys.
And if they had, there would have been some fucking shy.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. People, like, every crow loves their own, right? So if, let's say, Sweden said, we're going to bring a whole gang of Irish lads to Sweden, we're going to put you all up in a hotel, to give you three free meals a day, clothes, and whatever else goes with it. I haven't looked up what these facilities offer. I know for a fact, like if I said to a bunch of lads at home in Swinford, lads, do you want to live in a gaff in a hotel, and you get free food and just knock around and have the crack all day? Yeah, you do that, because what I'm getting at is we pay taxes and we're being fucking fleeced. And like I said earlier on, the road from Swinford to here was treacherous. I mean, like you're coming around bends after you come from Tulsk, and it's like, am I going to get fucking crashed into here? And you think to yourself, why isn't our tax money going to healthcare, infrastructure, and education? I mean, like, look, Ireland has a good educational system by and large.
Look, there's an awful lot of bad things happening, but there's an awful lot of good things happening.
Yeah.
The country's not as bad as that. But the problem is, right now, it's just that people are in a situation where, since COVID, things are twice as dear as they used to be.
Speaking young people. COVID, before, look up the biggest shareholders in Moderna and Pfizer. Continue on.
Same thing, but yeah, people can't afford houses, and people can't afford to get their wages. I don't know how people are managing now.
Well, remember the days you get at the end of a week a packet of cash in an envelope.
Yeah,
you had that was in your hand, and what you did with that. But nowadays it's all blipping cards. Sweden is nearly, some people say Sweden didn't lock down because they already had the digital ID infrastructure in place, which they do. Like, I see a lot of things on Twitter or X talking about Tony Blair's son bringing in this digital ID into the UK, and that's already in Sweden. That infrastructure's already been set up. But like, if you have to do anything with your kids, or you're going online to check your receipt or your prescription, or there's other things like paying your phone bill. Like, everything is connected to your digital ID. It's called Bank ID, and I think Sweden is the forerunner for testing out all this.
And China.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you look at the
China.
China. It's a China, beautiful infrastructure.
That's a good one.
Thank you very much, Dave. Got here, a very beautiful studio you got here. Very masculine. I like the whiskey. Great whiskeys over here. Beautiful Irish whiskeys. Where was I? Yes, China. When the fuck did the world just go, yeah, let's just do what China does in this?
I'm beginning to notice what's wrong, right? And I just think, why is no one saying it, right? Everyone's afraid to say it. I don't think we have an immigration problem, right? Because no one's giving out about the Chinese. No one's giving out about the Ukrainians. No one minds if the Mexicans are going working. No one's caring about that. The problem is people are afraid that people are coming in and they're not regulated. Nobody knows why they're here. They are a different culture than us. And it's a dangerous culture if it's extreme. Because the difference, if you look at England, you have all these people in power that are Muslims now, and they're looking for Sharia law. So they're leaving countries that are Muslim countries. The Muslim countries around them won't take them. They're sending them to these free countries where they want to go. And when they get here, they want to change our laws. So the system that brought them here and gives them the life that they want, they now want to change it. And that scares people. And because normal people just say, I don't think I'm comfortable with that, right? I'm afraid of that, you fucking racist bastard.
Well, that's an interesting thing, and it's a hot topic. So the thing is, like, I wouldn't say per se Muslim problem, but what I would say is it's a culture compatibility issue that comes with integration. You know, like if we were to be, let's say, if we were in Saudi Arabia, we would behave ourselves because there would be consequences for our behavior that would be seen as haram, drinking and shagging and whatnot. But the thing is that I see that there's a lot of kind of collective scrutiny over Muslims, and I think like it's a bit like Christianity. If you look at like a lot of evangelicals, let's say, or like a radicalism that exists within like even what happened with Ireland and Catholicism. I think it's the certain types.
I just think that I think everyone should be able to talk without being called a racist.
Yes,
and I think that we should keep in check. If I had a group of people move beside me that were from just Irish people from another town, and I thought I was a bit weary of them. You know, I'm allowed to say, hey,
yeah,
there's a bit of a problem here.
Well, this is the thing. In recent, like this is what goes back to what I was saying earlier on about the right to express yourself. But there are those out there who don't want people to speak freely. Like if the thing is like if you consider it linguistic fascism, if a person cannot articulate their feelings openly and then be able to sure, if something sounds wrong and it's like objectively wrong, and you're like, well, look, and then by someone having an open opinion and an open dialogue on something, then it can be discussed without prejudice.
Yeah.
And in an environment where someone can go, well, I didn't know that, and I stand corrected. You know,
like you and me, we were having a conversation here.
Yeah.
And if you were to say to me, I'm a Christian, and you were to say, what do you think of those evangelical lunatics? And I'd say, fucking lunatics, gobshites, absolute lunatics. But if we were here having a conversation, and I said to you, what do you really think of those fucking extremists, them Muslim extremists? You're in your head, you go, oh, I wonder, should I say nothing? I'm a bit worried. You know, like if I was to come on and start on my story and start leering, fucking, what's his name? Who's the guy that they worship?
Allah.
Is it Allah?
Yeah, Muhammad.
Yeah, Muhammad.
Peace be upon him.
Yeah, well, like you could be murdered.
Well, that is true. But where I was getting at with the overall macro perspective on this is you have to look at.
This is David Brent thing.
Yeah,
looking through a keyhole.
Looking through. Oh, you're odd. Might have to. and I do it from behind because your breath smells of onions. But where I was going with this was you have to look at Islam in today's day. How did it become the way it is? So you have Sunni, Shia, and Alawite. That's the three as far as I'm aware. But then you have Wahhabism as well. And if you watch, there's a documentary Adam Curtis did called Bitter Lake that explains how radical Islam came about or became so prevalent, because it started, Wahhabism, as far as I'm aware, started off in Saudi Arabia. And when Roosevelt started dealing with the Gulf states post World War II, they said, we'll take your technology, we'll take your money, but leave our religion alone. So with all the billions in dollars that were going to Saudi Arabia, for example, or these Emirati lands, they then had the resources to then open madrasas all across the world, all across Asia. And a lot of the time, these madrasas would just teach teachings from the Quran. So it would take young fellas, bring them to these madrasas, and they would study the Quran. They wouldn't really be studying other things like other religions or culture or philosophy. It would be taking what was written to a very literal extent. And then you look at, if you look at, so growing up in the UK in the 80s and 90s, the IRA were enemy number one. And I remember we came from mass one Sunday and in the 90s, and there was a bomb, and I think some people died. And I remember it was a Sunday morning, and the woman who worked in the newsagent, who we always were very friendly with, I remember her saying to me, Mum, are you proud to be Irish? My mum said, I am, yeah. Why? She goes, how can you be proud to be Irish when things like this? And my mum was like, it's like, you know, there's not a representation of us all collectively.
Exactly.
And I think, and the same thing goes with people of the Islamic culture and faith. But you have to look at the...
What do you think would have happened if your mother had said, yeah, and I'm glad that they done that?
I mean,
For A, B, C, D.
Well, yeah, I mean,
she wouldn't have.
But if she had have said that,
she wouldn't have.
Then I would have supported her because she was my mum. But like,
but
my mum is one.
But like you integrate into your, like, it's happened in the 70s when they tried to settle travellers. They tried to settle a culture. Like the government tried, they poured money at it and they built houses for them, thinking that this is the answer to it. They didn't understand their culture. They didn't do any research. They're doing a good job of it now.
Yeah.
But back then they didn't. And they're doing the very same thing now. They're bringing people over here. They don't know where they're from. If I was born into a place where I was war-torn, I was seeing horrific things from the day I was born, I don't know any different. Yeah. And when you get to a different country, sure, you don't know what right or wrong is. You're doing what you like.
Well, this is... Well, look, in a nutshell, right? If you look at...
Do you want some more whiskey?
Oh, I'd love a bit. That was very, very Moorish. But if you look at it like this, culturally speaking, the Western... Thank you very much, sir. Let's say, the same... Okay, so going back to BlackRock.
What the fuck did we get into this?
Actually, we'll get out of it, but it is very interesting. But like you said, it's something that I'm like, ooh, you know, you're like, fuck, you've always got to be on guard with how you express things.
That's what annoys me about.
Yeah, but this is the thing about podcasts is like,
I've asked 4 people that I know that are Muslims. I know them. Certain restaurants and that I know will not come on, and quite shocked at a couple of conversations that I had with them.
Well, I can imagine because
I still think they're sound, but I totally do not understand our culture in certain ways, and it bothers me.
But if you look at it like this, the West, USA, England, France, NATO, they go over and they look at Mossadegh in Iran. He wanted to nationalize Iranian oil, but he realized that only 16% of the dividends of their very lucrative amount of oil was going to their own people. 16%. The rest was going to the BP. And so the English got the CIA involved, paid off his generals. So either, do you want to take this money or do you want to be loyal to him? Like, the thing is, we're up against such monolithic entities that anybody who, like, okay, well, if you go back to car insurance, for example, here in Ireland, if you had a politician now who would go, right, lads, it's insane that we're paying this much for car insurance. It's crippling to many people. And then someone, let's say someone in the Dáil campaign, they were like, this is ridiculous. Like, how the hell, young people need to drive cars, but the whole thing is, young people can't be trusted because they're young and foolish. So therefore, we're going to have to charge a 21-year-old $2,500 a year to drive his, 2-litre TDI Passat. So you have, let's say you had a politician here in Ireland who's like, right, I'm going to run on this campaign, going to get it. And of course, people are going to go, yeah, he's dead right. Like, it's absurd. It's crippling. What happens then? Let's just take, and I'm not like Allianz, who, funny enough, I had a conversation the other day. Check out main shareholder of Allianz. This is just another thought exercise. So what happens? Allianz has plenty of money and clout because you're going to find out who the main shareholder is. And next thing, smear campaign arises about this politician. They bring up shit from his past from 15 years ago. And then the tabloids go along with it in the media. And next thing, the regular people then start going, oh, did you hear about him? Oh, he's a bad bastard, man. Meanwhile, this guy was working for the interests of the people who would then listen to the media and had their manufactured consent to then take down the person who was working for them. And this is going back to the discussion about like Islam. And you think to yourself, they always need to have... So the main shareholders of Raytheon, Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all these weapons manufacturers are the same people who have the majority shareholder of Allianz Insurance and many other insurance companies. So to be in business, you got to stay in business, or is it vice versa? But so if you're in the business of making war or weapons, then you're going to need to find someone to fight. So by propping up radicals, these corporations who basically own, like if you watch Boardwalk Empire, you'll see how Steve Buscemi's character, Nookie Thompson, we got our man in the White House, we got our senator. They buy their way into, I mean, look what AIPAC is doing in the USA. Like the only ones I think is Ro Khanna, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Thomas Massey, and a handful of others. Everyone else, they just throw money at them.
And we're in a real weird place in society.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
So we haven't figured out the best way that we've figured out forward for people to get a better life as a whole, as a humanity, is capitalism. But it has its downfall, because
free market capitalism,
you end up having more money at the top than the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's always been kept in check with wars, with economic collapses. We're living in the best time ever that we don't actually have wars, not en masse like we used to.
Well, yeah, in the European continent.
Yeah, so we're having the best time we ever had, but now we live in this credit economy, and then we're all to blame, because what happened is we are consumers. We love stuff.
That's our job in the West. Is to consume.
Just consume.
Yeah.
But as a humanity, that's what we do, is consume. I was listening to an episode of Joe Rogan. I probably talked about this before. But he said, like, if you were an alien species and you looked at us and you were describing us, and they're just these fucking apes that just make better shit all the time. That's all we want.
Yeah.
Like, this works perfect.
And we pay to live here.
And we pay to live in the world we're born into. But we're just creating more stuff. And now when you look at what Elon Musk and all these people are doing, AI is
oh man, it's
blowing my mind.
Well, Peter Thiel and Palantir and all this, and what's his name, Larry Ellison.
Yeah,
man, see what the plans for Gaza are.
No,
because the thing is, like, man, it's insane. The idea is like they're going to
love hearing new stuff.
Oh, it's crazy.
Hit me, Martin.
They're going to basically take the ruins of Gaza, and then on top of that, they're gonna try and build some sort of Mediterranean Riviera tax-free place where all these Silicon Valley giants are gonna go there tax-free, and then whatever Palestinians are there, they can work for slave labor, but it's all going to be AI and it's all going to be surveillance. And Tony Blair is the one who was being given 35 million by Peter Thiel's company to oversee this. Like, and earlier on, I was thinking about doing a video online where I was talking about how the Han Solo and Luke Skywalker were terrorists, and then equate fictional works of rebellion that everyone, let's say Frodo and Aragorn and the boys, they were terrorists. You know, like, so because a lot of people, like going back to the evangelicals and all the Charlie Kirk business, you know, if you disagree with the fact that people are being systematically genocided, you're a Hamas sympathizer. But then you think to yourself, all right, well, the us Irish people had like suffered persecution and emigration for 800 years, and the last time we were unified as a country was under Brian Boru. That's how long ago it was. And you could, you know, depending on who you ask, the IRA, were they terrorists? You know, and if you were to ask someone in England who works in the military, they would say, yeah, they were terrorists. But if you were to ask someone here in Ireland, they were people who were fighting.
Depends on your point of view.
Exactly, it all depends on your point of view. And but what I see is, to quote Axl Rose in Civil War, when everybody's fighting for the promised land. And it's quite interesting that the three Abrahamic religions that have often fought each other over religious ideology all converge in Jerusalem. You know, that area of land goes back to, you know, Abraham and the Old Testament, the New Testament.
I'd love to go there so bad. I wonder will I ever get to see it.
Yeah, but it's really unfortunate because you have a mixture religious zealots and from all walks of life, and on top of it you have like the whole asset management companies, and most people just want to live in peace, to be left alone with a small government, and
that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
The government to fuck out your business.
The fucking price of a house, man. Like, do you remember back in the 80s, like you'd hear about, he bought his house off the council for €5,000.
But no money. But money was hard get in the 80s. But we live in a weird time. Like, I can't get over the difference now. 10 years, and we live in a totally different world. AI didn't exist. It was a far dream. It's fucking getting rid of everyone's jobs.
Social media, like house parties became shit crack because all of a sudden, I remember Chris Dordoff saying to me, we're in Cork, he's like, fucking hell, man. Now people can take pictures and upload them to Facebook. And I was like, what? And now you can just fucking live stream shit. And like, imagine growing up as a kid these days, and when you're young, you're prone to stupid shit.
Now it never goes away.
Yeah. And
it can actually ruin their life.
Yeah, of course.
But this is why we're in this weird transition that's happening quicker than the human body ever had to deal with.
Exactly. And human behaviour still remains as was.
I do a lot of thought experiments on it. I think our only answer is merging with AI. Or an AI government.
Well,
totally logical.
Yeah, if you had an impartial, if it was uncorruptible, I think
that's the thing. Who's
programming?
AI? Yeah, like the Chinese AI is going to be biased towards Chinese, so everyone's going to have to work together, like in Armageddon. You know, when all the countries come together and we go, listen, we are fallible humans and we are fucking this shit up.
Don't want to close my eyes.
I don't want to fall asleep
because I missed you, babe.
I got a hand job the first time at that movie.
Fair play to you. What a result.
Yeah.
That song actually reminds me of when my nan died, and
God, you have to bring this down.
No, but when my cousins, they started, like, we went over, God rest her, my nan died, I was 15, and they started playing the Armageddon
that
soundtrack.
Was her funeral movie song?
Well, no, it was just the morning she died, they were all sitting around listening to it, and my cousin was like, oh, this song reminds me of Granny, and I was like, because I'm a piss taker, I was like, I couldn't stop laughing at the absurdity of Aerosmith, who furnished the movie with a dramatic soundtrack, and the premise of that movie being the world coming together, converging to put the differences aside, to go off on a mission of mercy to land on an asteroid and blow it up. And I was like, the fact that my nan was 80 when she passed away had nothing to do with the culture surrounding Michael Bay's... It's Michael Bay who directed Michael Bay's star-studded cast of Armageddon. I found the juxtaposition rather funny, and I remember trying to catch my younger sister's eyes, but she's like, "Ooh, it's not funny." But that song. So you got a hand job. I went to my nan's funeral with that.
See, we were all both different. Mine was cooler than yours. I have to say, a lot more fun.
It certainly.
No,
was.
wait, I don't know what went down afterwards at the wake and stuff.
It was nice to see everyone, but it was ultimately.
Did you ever see Wedding Crashers?
Long time ago, yeah.
Seemingly, people are mad horny at funerals.
Oh yeah, but funerals. You see funerals. I think
crazy horny.
Crazy horny. But I think the thing is with funerals, there's a lot of intimacy in terms of hugging, and when people are grief stricken, they let their guard down, and sometimes they also let their erotic guard down as well. So,
have you ever been grief stricken?
Many times, yes.
What's the saddest you ever were?
I'd say the saddest time for me was I went out with a friend of mine the day my first love and I had broken up, and he jumped and killed himself on the same night.
Were you there?
Yeah, but I didn't see it happen, so I didn't know. I thought he'd fallen. I don't know if he'd fallen or if he killed himself, but looking back over the years, it was, and I wouldn't mind. I was like, you know, the only the person you needed most was the girlfriend, and we broken up, and that was probably, I was 21 years old. That was until that part of my life, I'd never known true grief and hardship, and there's been times since. Some of the hardest times have been like when one of my dogs have died. Like I remember like the day of my sister's wedding. My dog Sid, who's in the Hardy books, the second series, He got he got out of the house and he got ran over like 45 minutes before we were due to be at the church, and he died in my arms. And that for me was, I can't remember anything about that day of the wedding. I had to go to the wedding afterwards and then bury him the next day. And another time, like putting my other dog Toby, we had to put him down. He had cancer, and that was one of the hardest.
Do you ever wonder what it is about dogs? Like, what is it about dogs that they just get in on you?
I think it's because, first of all, I often wonder if they could speak. There's two things, right? The first thing is, if they could speak and they told you what they see, you'd be like, that's a bit fucking much. You know, you don't do much around the gaff. And the other thing is, if you could hear what they would say, you'd be like, whoa, this lad's mental. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they go around sniffing arses, like their whole psychology, if you could hear them.
But they just want to be with you.
Yeah, they're
they
great.
They just love you.
Yeah, they're the best thing. You know, like, my kids are always, you know, the way kids ask questions like, what's your favorite this? But like, what's your favorite animal? I'm always like, dog. Because they're just such good crack. And
we lost our, would have been 17-year-old
Border Collie.
No, it was a Shih Tzu.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, it would have been 17 this Christmas, and we lost her. I was fucking devastated.
Yeah.
And the bastards, right? She kept getting sick, and they were there, oh, she's going to die. And then the vet would say, no, she's grand, she'll be grand, we'll keep an eye on her. And she'd be hopping around the place. And then she got a little bit unwell, and Vicky rang me and said, I work a lot of Edens. And she said, oh, I don't think Lucy's that well. We'll probably take her to the vet in the morning and see. And I got home. Normally she runs out to the back to me around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Every morning, every night that I come home, it's just me and Lucy.
Yeah.
And the fucker didn't come out. And next thing, she was in her doggy bed and I was there. You all right? And she just walked over. Fucking died.
There and then?
Just walked over, 2:30 in the morning, just fucking died.
She waited for you?
I was devastated. And then I sort of got myself together, you know, grown man. Cop on to yourself, right?
But it's amazing, like...
And then I thought, kids in the morning. Wife, what the fuck do I do? Kids don't know anything but that dog.
And that thing is, she was older than the kids.
Yep.
So she's always been there.
Always been there. So I had to fucking go through it all again in the morning.
I have a rescue dog from Russia called Maloney. You see, I had a bit of a shitty time with dogs because I had my first dog. I had Bertie. He was a border collie, a lovely mad dog. He was great. Well, he was.
And no bank account either.
No bank account either. And is a shrewd. Like he used to outsmart me, and he'd be running across the road. And if he got off the lead, I'd be, please. But he'd be like, ah ha ha ha. But he was this very clever dog. You know, these good open door handles and all that kind of crack. And it was just. But I think dogs, because they hang out with people so much in houses, that they pick up human traits. But he was a very smart dog. Then there was another dog I found as a stray called Toby, and he was just like a barrel. After a while, like, he was the greediest fucking dog I've ever known. Like, we used to feed him the brandy dog food, and you'd just take off the ring pull, and before you'd even get a chance to like I just didn't even bother taking it out with a fork. I just got this, and just like the whole roll of jellified dog food would come out as a cylinder, and it would just be, he'd breathe it in. Then he would go in to take the other dog's food, so we had to like stop him from going in eating the older border collie's food. But they were brilliant crack, man. I used to feel like a big man going around with these two dogs. But like, they died about 2 years from each other. Then I had Sid after, who was the kind of, he was a mixture between a lurcher and a boxer, and he had some like hard times. Someone that, like, he was badly treated, and he was taken into the SPCA up in Ballyhornis. Big shout out to Sheila and the gang. And he was a mad rowdy dog, and I guess he was, you know, like his owner. But boxers, they don't settle down till they're about 4. So usually other dogs get sense when they're 2. Boxers are still mad bastards. And so he tragically got killed. And then I was just so heartbroken. I was like, you know the way when you'd ask your parents when you're a kid, oh, can we get a dog? And they're like, no, I'm not getting a dog, no. Because you don't realize at the time that your parents have lost dogs as well, and they don't want to go through that.
And the work that's involved.
Obviously the work involved, especially in Sweden. Like, I don't have as much immediate family as I do here in Ireland. And, you know, if you're going away, you have to find people who can look after the dog, and sometimes can be tough going. But yeah, it's just, and now he's 10. And I I'll be like this in the house, be like, "Aye, so you're a good boy. I'm gonna be heartbroken when he's dead."
What do you hate about Sweden?
The lack of spontaneity, the fact that it is over-regulated, and the bureaucracy is crazy. I don't like the fact that it's cashless, pretty much. There's a lack of, look at this, for example. Was it yesterday or today? He said, was it yesterday? He said, "Can you make it or come down tomorrow?" Or was it today? And it was like, this is how I am. I'm like, job done. Yeah, I'll drive down. We'll have good crack. This wouldn't happen in Sweden. It'd be like, well, what are you doing on the 5th of next year? It's like, and it's all like weeks. It's like, week 26. What do you do? I'm like, what month is that? Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in 5 days. You know what I mean? That's just like, I've got fucking ADHD, which is brilliant in many ways, but in a place that's so highly regulated and structured.
Do you
like
know,
Sweden,
I love their structure.
Well,
all our machines are made in Finland, Sweden and stuff.
They are, yeah. Are they the ones that strip the logs? And there's a guy, you probably see him on TikTok, he's constantly streaming, just like stripping trees.
Logger John.
That's him.
Fucking rookie.
Forestry job.
Rookie towards what we're at by.
Yeah, like, because the thing is, I was raised around plant machinery. My uncle Martin Lavin, big shout out to Lavin, plant machinery in High Lake. he took me out the first time I got my wage packet. I was 7. He brings me out.
7.
Brings me out when I was a 7-year-old. Now it was about $2.50, but at that time it was like fucking money, man, class. And he took me out. He go, "There you go. What does that say? What does that say now? Read that out, good lad." And I was like, "Martin Maloney, waggers? No, you fucking donkey. Wages. That's your wage packet." So I used to go out working with him when I was 10, and like I'd be driving Poke Lanes and Hitachis and JCBs. And I went back over when I was 16. I spent all summer working over there, and he had me working 7 days a week.
Doing what?
Fucking doing bits around the yard, like cleaning machines with, like he'd be buying and selling machines or breaking machines. So I'd be doing stuff like stripping final drive units or hydraulic pumps and then washing them in petrol.
If you had never done entertainment, what would you be at?
Plant machinery.
That's what you would be doing.
Fucking loved it. I absolutely love it. Like machines. Like I remember when I was 16, this one of the lads who was working in the yard, Dennis Griffin, he took me to this plant machinery show in Derbyshire in this massive quarry. It was fucking brilliant crack. There was this. They had this big tank, like this big like water tank that had like plastic. It was a big pool, and two strippers like they were there topless, and I was 16-year-old looking at 2 fully grown strippers. And I was like, this is a different world. And then you'd look at like massive machines, like these face shovel Komatsu.
That's quarry stuff. The quarry lads are all perverts, you know.
They wouldn't see many women unless they're in Sweden. Like, and that's a good thing about Sweden. I was working doing industrial vacuum truck. So it's like basically an excavation.
I know the yoke. Cool yoke.
Yeah, the Hydrovac. Yeah, they're brilliant. And then you'd see like you'd be dropping the stuff off to a landfill or something, and you'd see like there'd be women driving trucks, and over there it's no big deal, like, and you wouldn't really see as much of that here in Ireland.
It's getting better now. Young ones and Arctics and everything.
Well, I was up in a mate of mine, Sean Gavigan, was working for doing a data center, as they say, up in Gävle or Sandviken, and this beautiful blonde lass driving a loader, and I was like, the building sites, like that was one thing about working on the sites. There was the lack of women, and it's just you see like absolute finers driving Hitachis or Kobelcos or Volvos.
The rigs out there, they use big double drive rigids and full size trailers.
Yeah, they're huge.
Cool.
Like they're like road trains, but you can do it in Sweden because the elevation isn't too.
It's a fair flat land.
It is decent, but
where we were working in Kristianstad, we were working for a farm, and it was like a big castle on it and everything. And they had 25,000 acres of tillage and 25,000 acres.
Old money.
25,000 acres of forestry. And during the winter, we had to do, the way there's loads of lakelands.
Yeah.
And like you could have a lake, and we had to get the timber out on the lake, so we had to wait until it was frozen. So your man would come out in the morning, he'd test the ice. Then you'd be driving the machine. Us lads, I never seen a fucking ice river in my life, and your man was there.
You
Oh yes,
driving
you drive, and I'm there. Fuck really, just slow, slow. Don't make way.
Yeah, it's like last before we went to Dubai and Australia and all that this year, the lake near us had frozen over, and there was a kid driving around on a quad, and I remember me and my son went down, and I was like, I don't know about this. Even though there's a lad driving around on a quad, I was still like, don't know about that, man. And then after a while, it was grand. But like,
what age is your young lad?
He's 8.5.
Mad into any sports?
Not so much into sports. Yeah, I think he likes basketball. But I've said I really need to get them both into like jiu-jitsu or something, just for the self-discipline of it all. That they're brilliant crack. I love them to bits. Like they're raised as they're raised as Irish, so they're half Swedish, half Irish, but they definitely embrace the Irish side of it more.
Did you watch your program?
Yeah, we watched. I was like, is this? There might be a few adult themes here, like, but yeah, my son just kept going, yeah, the whole time. And
what's your favorite scene that you ever filmed? Is there one that sticks in your mind that was just so hard to get out because it was so funny? Like, did you know when you watch bloopers for The Office and stuff?
Yeah.
Can you remember a scene that you just got so hard to do that you look back and you go, that was one of my favorite days?
Do you know the very first? So we started off, me and Chris. He was doing the thing for college, and it was just like I was labouring on Briar Hill shopping centre in Galway, and I came back one weekend. And Chris he went to Ballyfermot, so he did what I was supposed to do. And he was like, I want to do a project where just improvise. So I took a couple of lads I knew, took a bit of my dad in there, and I threw it into a character. And that was called The Tale of a Hardy Buck. So just me walking around Charlestown. And I was like saying stuff like, oh man, yeah, I was fucking married there last year, man. Yeah. 250 guests, seat covers, the lot, man. Yeah. Over in Chicago, spent fucking 250 grand on it. Divorced then 2 months later. You know, this kind of shit like that you'd hear happening. And so all the lads that he was in school with in college, they were like, right, this would be great. We'll come down and do a demo. So we did a demo in April of 2007. And one of the funniest, like, because me and Owen used to live together in Galway back in 2003. So when I came back from Sweden the first time, my first serious girlfriend was like a hot goth, like a mad lass. And she like, it was only when I went and seen how she lived in Sweden, what she must have thought about how we lived in Galway. So we were looking we were like, all right, we need to find a place. And I was used to slumming it, like we'd sleep on, you know yourself, you sleep on floors or fucking couches, no jacketing over you, like. And we found this house out in Ballyban, the very edge of Galway, and it was like 200 euro a week rent. And I was like, sound, a house, we'll take it. And I found a postcard that she was sending to a friend of hers. And at the end of it was like, P.S. I wash myself with a rag on a stick. And so we were looking for tenants, and I heard that Owen Colgan, so Owen and Tom, who plays Tommy Boo, they were in the year behind us, and Pete Cassidy, who I was hanging out with the whole time, he would have been in their year, but he repeated 5th year. So he was like, oh fucking hey, Colgan's looking for a place to move in, man. So I rang up Owen and I said, so do you want to move in with us? And he's like, oh, sound, I move in. I was like, that easy? What a legend. And then from living with Owen, I was like, he's one of the funniest fucking dudes I've ever met. And there was another friend of ours called Tommy Cox from Multifarnham. But unfortunately, the poor lad drowned in 2006 in Galway. Like, he was one of my best mates, and unfortunately he drowned. But
that's the guy that jumped the bridge? No,
that was another lad. So I lost 2 of my fucking best mates in, like, within a year of each other. So that was a fucking shitty time about 20 years ago. And Tommy was, so his dad was a librarian at Mullingar and his mother's a teacher. And a very smart family, very, very artistic and very funny, cultured gang of people. And I remember me and Tommy walking we were leaving Owen at this house, we were staying on the Bowmore Hill about 20 years ago. And as we were walking out, Owen kept going like this. like waving, and then he'd go in, but we'd look back to see if he'd do it again, and they're waving again, and he kept doing it the whole. It was like the road to the Bowermore Road was maybe like about 150 meters away, and we're like, is he going to do it again? He kept doing it, and then Tommy goes, Martin, man, you know, Owen is one of the most underrated, funny fuckers I've ever met in my life. So a couple of years later, Chris goes, let's do the demo. And we're sitting there in the living room of the cottage, and they had these like old style, these porcelain ornaments of lads going, ooh, with like a handkerchief and like a little heart and with a big wig going, ooh. And I picked it up and I went, got that down in the fucking charity shop, man. Look at that, man. You know, fucking didn't buy shit with that. And then you know what he is, man? What? It's only an old fucking bender. like I couldn't fucking get I couldn't get we had to cut it because I couldn't get it out. It was just the ignorance of like, look at that, man. It's fucking only old bender. And but the first scene we did with Owen when he came in, sorry it took so long to get here, but like the first scene, it was like, Owen, we're gonna do this like comedy show. Are you up for it? And he's like, someone will do that, yeah. The first scene, I just to look at his face, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was like, you know, you're onto something.
He has this gift though of staying serious. He's a cunt for staying serious.
Yeah.
While he says the most ridiculous things.
Do you know who the other one who I couldn't stop laughing was Big Mick, who's my uncle. And we were in this container. I was like, no, lads, you fucking nice lallies or what? And I just couldn't stop laughing when I looked at his face. Because I was like, this is my dad's brother. Because we'd asked him before, would he be in it? And we shown him like the Bebo demo that we did. And we were just sitting there watching his reaction. He was watching it on the computer in my house. And he goes, that's comedy, is it? And we're like, oh, he's not sold. And then it was like, hey, Eugene, we've got a deal with RTE. All right, well, I'll do a bit, so I suppose I'll do a bit. And there'd be a few bob in it for man too, I suppose. Oh, yeah. And then we did it. And
how did you deal with RTE guys?
Well, they had a Storyland thing. The competition, you probably remember it, like vote on Storyland, man, and we got round. It was like 7 minutes, and during the interview process I was like, so can we put like extra promotional material online? They're like, oh yeah, absolutely. So they banned that the next year because
you were putting up too much stuff.
It was like half an hour episodes. I was like, go vote there, hey.
Did you enjoy what's your favorite episode that you can look back on?
I've got two of my favorite episodes. Or would be the Oxygen episode and the Sci-Fi Convention. They're both in like, so series 3 would be my favorite. Like, so with Eugene, you know Eugene Greeny, who has Dobros in Galway. He was like, Martin, man, like, I'm not used to this fucking crack. Like, what am I supposed to do? Hey, and I was like, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Like, because I just know when, like, you'd be brilliant at it. You know, like, you know, when you know, and there's no amount of fucking acting school or all
there has to be chemistry with who you're with, though.
Yeah, but you know, like I remember Stateside. Like the first time I heard about him, my sister's friend Tanya, she was like, "Oh, Martin, you've got to meet Miller, man. He's unreal." I'm like, "Why? Well, like when he walks under a door, like he ducks under." But he's my height, so there's like a 5-inch clearance. But he'd walk under the door, and if he sits on a couch, he'd be like, he'll make himself look huge. Yeah. And she was just describing him to me. I was like, oh, I have to meet this guy. But then his cousin, Chris Kilcoyne, he was the guy who plays Crowbar, and he nearly made it to Big Brother in the UK. He was like
so close.
He was in like the final 15, and she was like saying, oh, and Chris, and they came down to like, so our house in Swinford, everyone, the fucking door was open to everyone. So it was like quasi DOS house, much to my mother's despair, like, but my mum would, as long as I know where you were, I'm happy enough with that. So we'd fucking bring headers in and everything. So we were there with Kilcoyne. I was like, what, so you were going to be on TV? Oh yeah, man, I was fucking this close. I said something anyway. I didn't want bad old doing. And then when we met Stateside, and I think it was a speed dating episode. So Chris had never met Stateside before. And you had like Wayne Lynch, who played the dragon. And Wayne Lynch is Lexus's and my... So me and Lexus, or Paul Maloney, he's my cousin. and Eugene, who plays Big Mick, is our uncle, and Wayne Lynch, the dragon, is Paul's cousin from the mother's side, and so you had Tordoff and Wayne, who obviously know each other, and then Stateside just in the mix. He's like, my favourite movie is Goodfellas. Yeah, what's your favourite character? Johnny Shits. And it just became like, I was like, this is fucking gold, man. This is the best shit I've ever seen, and we've made it ourselves. And like, it just went off into like our own.
Would you love to do it again?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course I would. Like, I think the country needs a good laugh, and I think everything needs to have the piss taken out of it in equal measures. And the last couple of years, things have just gotten so serious over here, and you know, I look like I suppose it's like I was at the Ploughing Championships with Gary's Glue, top boys, stick to you, for you. Sorry about that, lads. So I went down there and with Gary's Glue and the gang, fucking legends. And I was saying to them, have you heard the podcast at all? And I was like, I wonder what they think of the Hardy Bucks podcast, because some fucking out there shit on there. And they're like, we love it. It's fucking brilliant. I was like, grand. So then when we went down to the Ploughing Championships, we took a walk around, and the amount of people who were coming up to me like, Series 5, I fucking love the show. And the amount of love that exists, like even when we went round, we went to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, Dubai, UK, and everyone, the amount of people who want to see it.
Humans love a story, right? That's all we build our lives on, a story. Yeah. A story for ourselves, a story for everyone else. We make up a story for someone. Everyone has their own story. And people that grew up with the Hardy Bucks, everyone's like, oh, I wonder what they're at now.
But their kids are watching it now as well. So yeah. A whole new generation of like...
I think you should do it and put it on YouTube. Do a series.
It's just, the thing is, like, with like now I can, like my kids are older now, so I can get away more. And the pandemic fucked me, man. I didn't come home for 2.5 years. Like, I was like, what's the point in going back? It would have pained me to see the country that I love with a passion capitulate to fucking arbitrary rules. And like, you know, I'm sure people who listen to this podcast are going to be like, ugh! But it's like, it was fucking crazy. And Sweden was not locked down. It was like, we lived a normal life. And to see how fucking crazy, like, I'll be honest with you, when I saw my daughter sobbing when she was hugging my mum at the doorstep after not seeing her for 2 years, that pissed me off, man. That and that whole thing caused a lot of shite for a lot of people. And what was the original question again?
Well, in this podcast, we tend to drift. Do you believe in aliens?
You know what? I'll tell you an alien story.
Go for it. I love these.
Right, I'll tell you firsthand. So I was coming back from, and I've told this many times, I was coming back from London after doing a gig. We did a gig at Leeds Irish Centre on Paddy's Day with Cronin. They're Shane McGowan's band, but they're also an independent band. Johnny, Mick Cronin, Fikra, Brian, lovely lads. Mullingar, all right boys, good lads. And did a gig with them in Leeds, and then I went down to London. I was hanging out with Paul Gallagher, and we were hanging out in the Boogaloo, and then we go up to Dennis's gaff up in the Highgate Inn. Meet Harry Styles with Liam Gallagher, and we met Johnny Borrell from Razorlight. I was like, fucking hell, what a mad night. The next day, flying back to Sweden, Norwegian Airlines from Gatwick to Stockholm. As I'm sitting on the plane, an older gent comes in. He's got Parkinson's. We're in the emergency exit seat. He's eating a full Toblerone, a full-size Toblerone, out of the packet like that. And I thought to myself, good on you. You're enjoying that Toblerone. I fall asleep. I wake up just as they're turning off the emergency exit. The lights. And then I'm looking out the window, and it looks like we're flying over like a town or something. There's like the clouds are orange. Then the clouds, something in the clouds starts moving around, and I'm looking out of the window, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Next thing, a ball of light, a sphere of light comes right up out the clouds, illuminates everything underneath it, and then just does a 90-degree turn and starts following parallel to the plane. So I grabbed this old boy beside me. I went, look. So he's like this shaking, looking out of the window. And we're watching this thing, this fucking ball of light. So I'd take the phone out and try and take a picture of it. Or I'd try to take a video of it. Of course, I'd just get a picture of the inside of the plane, which I can show you. So see this thing, and then it just goes right off in front of the plane. The old guy grabs me by the lapels and goes, oi, 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 det var en UFO. Which in English, oi, 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 it was a UFO. And I went, yeah, it was. Then we're chatting about it. And apparently that's where, you know, the word Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
That comes from what the Allied pilots would refer to these orbs that would follow them on the left side of the plane. They would just be there like a ball of light. And I explained this to him. Then I turned around to this lad behind me, who was like a smartly dressed guy, who was Egyptian English, of Egyptian descent. It looked like he was going over on a business trip. He was all suited and booted. I turned around to him, pulls out the AirPods, and I said, sorry, mate, did you see that ball of light outside? He went, I fucking did see that. What the hell was that? It had intelligence. Foo Fighters. So me being a bit of a cheeky prick, honestly, I'll tell you how spooked I was. I thought that maybe when we landed, there'd be someone ready to fucking Men in Black us or some shit. You know what I mean?
To zap you.
Yeah. So what I did is I went onto a WhatsApp group and I said, this is what I've seen. And then a mate of mine, Andy Nolan, box player, he sends me back another thing from what he'd seen in London, like three orbs in the sky. So he's like, yeah, Matt, and out you may, Martin, yeah, fucking seen that myself. And I was like, well, at least it's there. And like, I put the phone out the window in case I catch something else. I caught something in the distance, like another kind of ball that turns into a kind of a 3 points of light. And when I was reading the article, because it had Wi-Fi on the plane, these Foo Fighters things were either seen as a disc or a wedge shape. So this thing that I have, I can show you it later on. It's like, it's fuzzy, you know, but like it clearly, when you slow it down, you zoom in, turns into 3 points of light. I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what
Seemingly
it is.
they're interdimensional beings now.
I've no idea what it is. But when we were getting off the plane, me being a bit of a cheeky prick, I said to the hostesses, I said, thanks very much for a very pleasant flight. By the way, what was that ball of light that was following the plane? Ball of light? What ball of light? And as I was talking to her, the cockpit door was open. I could see the pilot, and I was looking at his face because I knew he could hear what was going on. But while she was talking, I was looking at him because I knew for a fact that went right off in front of he's seen it. They would have seen it. And she was like, oh, that was a Chinese lantern. And I said, Chinese lantern? Well, that's interesting because this thing it came up, did like a 90-degree angle turn, followed us parallel, and then shot off in front of the plane. I was like, those physics are pretty mad for a Chinese lantern. And then she goes to this, lay off the drugs, buddy. And then the English lad goes, oh my God, did you hear what she just said to you? Foo Fighters. And then I got home to the wife, now ex-wife, and I said, I saw a UFO. No, you didn't. I fucking did. Like, I was like, I explained it, and she was like, all right, I'm ringing Emily. A friend was a pilot. And then she gets the word back from Emily, and she said, oh, that was a weather balloon checking for base frost. I was like, fair enough. Maybe it could have been a weather balloon. So I thought, if I study the life cycle of a weather balloon, that maybe they're filled with hydrogen, I think, and there could be some sort of chain reaction when it meets, like, when it gets into, like, thin air, there's some sort of reaction with inside the balloon. Nah. And funny enough, my friend Joseph, he sent me, because I told him as well, and he sent me a picture. Someone else had seen it and rang into...
you freaked out or scared?
Freaked out. And I don't know what it was. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Right, okay. Here's another one for you. So me and the ex, we were in Sicily, in Trapani, back in 2009. And we were staying in this hotel. Lovely modernized hotel, but it was in the basement of this very old building. Didn't think anything of it. 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up.
I don't want to
feeling
stay
like
in
I'm being
anyone's basement.
strangled.
What?
But yeah, well, it was like an apartment hotel. It was like all modernized. But I wake up at 2 a.m. with this shadow looming over me. It looked like a hat. Grabbed me by the throat. I was like, "What the fuck?" I get up, turn the light on, and I was gonna tell Tanya, and I thought, "What's the point in me telling her this now? Let her sleep, and I'll just sleep with the lights on." And that was fucking spooky, man. That was, yeah. But we lived in a house in when we were kids that my mother had to get the priest out to bless the place. It was same shit happened with my older sister. Like, she was a kid at the time. We heard these like loud banging noises on the landing of the house, and my mum was in the bedroom. She shouts down to me dad, "Vinny, is that you outside?" No, the noising. And next thing, my sister starts screaming, feeling like she got hands grabbing her, and there was some weird fucking spots of blood on top of the door. Then they go into the front bedroom window, and there's bees everywhere. Really crazy shit that happened in this house, and I couldn't sleep without the light on when I was a kid. Like, it was.
What's your earliest childhood memory? If you were to think back, what's your earliest memory as a child?
Probably, I mean, the one thing I remember is when my sister had just been born in the hospital, and I was 3, and me crying, looking through the back window in the rain. And I remember my dad had a Ford Cortina, and with these like leather seats, and I don't know why this has come to me, but I remember like crying because my mum was in hospital, and we were driving home, and me going, "Ah!" I think that off the top of my head, that's my first. Very interesting question.
Who are you closest to in your family?
I'd say my mum, but like me and my 3 sisters as well, and we have a very close relationship.
You the oldest?
No, I'm the second youngest, so I got 3 sisters. So I was the only lad in, like I envied lads who had older brothers, because it'd be always like, "Oh, I could get my brother after you," and be like, "Ooh, you're odd."
Can you remember the first time when you were a kid thinking, "Oh, I'm different. I'm Irish. I'm not a full-on English person," or did it ever?
Yeah, I remember me and a few friends were walking back from the park one day, and I was saying, "Oh, did you see that film?" And someone was saying, "Film," and I was like, "Yeah, that's how you say film." Or that's how you say film. And all right, there's one time, I think I was about 6, and whenever it happened, the family had come into a bit of good fortune. So my older sisters, my mum and dad, they were all going, "Aye, conga," or something around the living room. And now the fact that I have a touch of the old ADHD, I seen everyone enjoying themselves, and I thought I have to add a bit more spice to this. And so I just started shouting, "IRA, IRA," like this. My parents like, "Shut up, you get fucking arrested." I didn't even know what the IRA was. It was always in the news. It was like, "Oh, the IRA, shh, don't talk about that."
Can you recall a time in your life where you felt most hopeless?
Fucking man, there's plenty of them times. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like there's been a lot of those times, and
does one stick out?
Yeah, I actually one time I was 22, so I was telling you about the ex-girlfriend of myself, the first one, but it was on and off, and the second time we broke up, tore it off, and Tommy, the lad who drowned, as a kind of a middle finger to her, we met these 3 lads from Dublin who had a camper van, and they were heading to the Baltic states, then they're going to Poland and then Germany and heading back. So I was like, "Yeah, we're heading off with these lads." It's just random. It was like on a whim, a decision to go. And at the time, I think I had maybe 20 quid. I was fucking skint, but I was like, "I'll take care of itself." So I headed off, and I was heartbroken, but I was like,
"What else do you do?"
Yeah, I was like, "Well, this will show you." And I went off, had good crack with the boys, and went round Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Germany, and had a fucking great time. It's great crack. Berlin and all, it's places I'd never seen before. And then I had to get a flight back to Stockholm. So I had to borrow Tommy's mum's AIB card to get my flight back. So I only went on the proviso that Chris would come. I said, "Would you promise you'll come back with me? I'll go on this trip if you come back with me, if you promise." He's like, "Yeah, I promise." Then we get to Berlin. "No, I'm going to Paris with Tommy." I was like, "For fuck's sake, man. You really left me in the lurch here." So the flight was from Hamburg, it was a Ryanair flight. And I get up to Hamburg, and I took a bus from Berlin to Hamburg airport. I get there on good time, and I say, "I'm checking in for the flight to Stockholm." They're like, "What airline are you with?" "I'm with Ryanair." "You're at the wrong airport." I was like, "What? Which terminal is it?" And they're like, "You're at the wrong airport." And I was like, "Where's the other airport?" It's like an hour and a half in the other direction. And it just took me my head was so wrecked. And I remember like,
it was the straw that broke the camel's back.
And I knew what I was going back to in Sweden as well. I knew it was like a whole load of shit to deal with that I just put off for 2 weeks. And I remember going down to the toilet and just fucking crying. And then I rang my mum, and she goes, "What is it? Is it drugs?" I was like, "No, I've just missed my flight." And she put 150 quid into the bank account. She goes, "Go and get yourself a room, get yourself some dinner." And I was like, it was just, to know that you got
comfort at home.
Yeah, comfort at home. And like, that was a pretty fucking hopeless situation, but then, so I got a hostel, met these crust punks from Minneapolis or St. Louis, and they were like, "Hey, you want to go dumpster diving?" I was like, "Why would I want to just jump into bags of trash?" And then they were like, no, you just like get stuff that supermarkets throw away. And I was like, "Nah, you're all right." So we just walked around, had a few drinks. Next day, took a bit of a look around Hamburg, got on this. I thought, right, I'll take a bus from Hamburg to Stockholm. It was like 24 hours or something. And we're on the bus.
Is there a bus that does that?
Yeah, the Eurolines. I think it was Eurolines. And I get a call from my ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, "Oh, what do you want?" "Oh, you're odd." And she goes, "Owen Colgan and our friend John Phelan and Tom Cogallan, Tommy Boo, they're coming over tomorrow." And I was like, oh man, I was just like, talk about they're coming to Sweden was like the equivalent of when at the end of Lord of the Rings 2 at Helm's Deep, "Look to the east, first light." It was like Gandalf and the boys that just fucking turned
"You
up.
shall not pass!
You shall not pass!" And I was like, I can't believe this is brilliant. I couldn't, like, so unexpected. I had no idea, but the boys were coming over. And then I took this bus, and we were going from Hamburg. The police had stopped the bus driver, apparently according to his tachometer that he'd driven too much. Then this woman called Anna gets up and then assumes like authority on the bus. And she walks down, she has a chat with the police, the bus driver, and she turns around and she goes, "So there is a problem with the bus driver. He needs to rest. I'm going to take this first. Raise your hand if you speak English." Most people lift their hand. "Raise your hand if you speak German," like 3/4. "Raise your hand if you speak Danish, Swedish," so on. And she goes, "Due to the raise of hands, most people on this bus speak English, so I'm going to take this in English. Is there anybody here that has a HGV license who can drive this bus?" 3 people raise their hand. Then one dude goes, "Will you drive?" "Yeah." So this guy just starts driving the bus. And she's sitting in front of me, and I'm like, "Fucking hell, man." So that was incredible. I was like, that was mental. Like,
that's what I'm saying about these Swedish people.
Well, she was German.
Oh, fucking
however, but it's kind of similar enough. And I went, "That was amazing. Like, what do you do?" And she went, "I am a lawyer, but I'm also a nun in the Church of Scientology." I'm like, "What?"
Fuck.
And she very near, like, because I was such a fucking low point, I was telling her about all the crack with the girlfriend and that, and she was like, "What you need to do, go to the old town in Stockholm, get the book of Dianetics. It will change your life."
Did you get it?
Nah, about like 2 weeks later, it was back on again. I was like, she rang me up. Did you get the book of Dianetics? Nah, it's sound on it. Nice talking to you though. Thanks very much for looking after me. Last I heard of her.
I read it. It's very weird.
Did you?
Yeah.
I remember my sister-in-law bought me a copy of it for Christmas once for a joke. It's probably somewhere in a box.
You have an 8-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying. So when you look back on when you were younger, because I do a lot of looking
Same
back.
as, you have to.
We're so emotionally immature. When we're younger, we think that we're mature because we think we're big hardy men. Do you know that saying? Men with money think they're men. When the money's gone, they're chill chaps again. You know?
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
But that's what we're all like. But we pretend to know what we're at, know what we're doing, and then it takes so little to upset us. But we keep it all in and you internalize it. So I do always be saying to young lads, like, you know, shit is gonna get bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to be able to handle your emotions. And women are going to break your heart. No, women and men are very different. Just we internalize it. And you just have to have something other than... Because we have a tendency, like when you fall for one when you're young, you build your life around it. You think you're going to... And then when that goes...
Man, it's something that I've experienced quite a lot in life. And the only thing I can say is it will happen time and time again. But it's the first time it happens, it's a fucking knife to the heart. You know what I mean? And then there will be some not so bad, some really bad, and but every breakup hurts, you know. And I was always really shit at breaking up with women. Just couldn't do it. I just like be like but like anytime I've been broken up with, or like you've been, you know, like a woman has left you for someone else, and it's just like fuck.
I do always look back because I was the same. I grew up in a family where all my other brothers and sisters were lucky enough to first person they were ever with, they married.
Really?
Oh yeah. I meet someone. Oh, they're married. Next thing was me.
Yeah.
Serial fucking women breaking up with me and stuff. But it's just I didn't know who I was.
But look what you're doing now, though.
Oh yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
But
like,
it's a long journey.
Yeah, it is.
It's a long journey. You make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I do think that if we all concentrated on, especially younger people, figure out who you are first before I have such a huge issue with kids, the age they are, being asked to decide what to do for the rest of their lives. It's like fucking crazy.
I don't know what to, like, I'm 42. I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like, in school, I never knew what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I loved the idea of working with like crocodiles and sharks and mad shit like that. But I was shit at maths, and I don't think, like, I think there's nothing wrong with me in terms of my ability to do. If I went back and did maths, I'd fucking ace it. But at the time, maths was something that there was with art that I loved. Art was subjective, whereas maths is 100% objective. It is this way,
linear,
very linear. Yeah, and when I was a kid, I remember when I fell behind in maths. I think it was about 7, and it was like a sunny day in September, and it was like, okay, when you finish, you go off and play. And it was just a whole block of sums. It took me fucking ages to do it. And by the time I did it, it was time for the next class. But I just remember looking around me, seeing other kids just no problem. And that's, I think it's the educational system. Look, I get, like, if there are kids that it's basically the way we're taught education is a kind of a throwback to the days of the Industrial Revolution. Like, kids, like,
retain, regurgitate.
Yeah. And so there's a misconception there of you would think someone who is able to have the discipline to sit there, learn.
They've got better at catching people like us. I was saying I was really bad at maths and stuff.
Were you in trouble much in school?
Yeah, a little bit. But it was like you always rather being the cheeky guy than the stupid guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just made more sense.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather people think I'm a bit of a fool than I'm thick. And David doesn't know he's 3 times tables yet.
Yeah.
David's getting it hard to read. But nowadays they are better in school to pick up stuff like that and give them extra work, where the education system is failing miserably now. Is they're not catching up with the future technology.
Yeah.
They're learning stuff that is irrelevant. And they need to learn
the books we had in school, like there was things I would watch on TV that we were being taught in school, like in biology, and I was like, that's been debunked. Like, well, for me, I would get into trouble a lot for asking questions or questioning authority, and not from the you just like asking, well, why do we have to do this? What's the point of this? And you realize a lot of people who were like the teachers who were teaching us, you were to meet them as adults, you'd be like, this fucking guy's boring as fuck. This guy didn't take any risks in life. And you think like these are the authorities that. And
then I used to hate history and geography and all those things. I used to dread them. I'll never forget years and years ago when I first started. I work in forestry, so I spend a lot of time on my own. So 12, 13 hours a day, and then 2 hours home in the car. So it was radio.
You listen to podcasts now?
But years ago, it started off with YouTube.
Yeah.
Hardy Books, all those things. Yeah. But I remember accidentally listening to an episode, just this Dr. Wayne Dyer was his name. Just came up on my YouTube feed. Didn't know anything about it. And he started talking about metaphysics and all this stuff. And I was like, Jesus, this is fucking mad interesting stuff. So he has a book. I read that book. And then the world opens up to you. And then podcasts. And it's like, oh my God, there's a world of information here. And because I'm thick, I can actually have it fed into my ears. And I was like, why couldn't school be like this?
Well, you're not thick though. I mean, look at this.
But you think you are.
But you think you are because you're told you are. And basically, I was. Please remind me about the concept of people who work in, let's say, manual labor. That now they can do two things at once. They can educate themselves while working. That's one thing that I was actually thinking yesterday that I'd like to talk about. But the other thing is, I went and got my ADHD diagnosis about 11 years ago. And I was always told, oh, you're fucking daft and all this, and you believe it. And then I got an IQ test back. And of course, right there. So basically, if you think of your brain as like the RAM in a laptop. So I have let's say 3 terabytes of RAM, but my processor is maybe 8 gig. And so it's the speed in which you can process that your brain carries out computational tasks is average. But like with a bit of medication, we can take that back up. So I've been taking Attentin, which is like 5 milligrams of very low dose of amphetamine.
What's that do?
Well, it's just, for me, you take it and it's just like...
Opens it up.
Yeah, opens up for like, it just feels like I've got like a duvet around my brain. And then I'm like, all right, now I know what to do. And in Sweden, they've stopped giving this out to people because they're like, obviously, some people sell it as like on the black market. But out of everything, that's the one that really worked for me. It's like, I'll take one of them. And next thing I know what to do. If I'm not, I'm like...
Do you have OD in it?
Well, I wouldn't take any more of it, but I've tried stuff like L-Vance that just made me feel like something was wrong. And the dosage maybe like a friend of mine gave me like an L-Vance tablet last year, and I was like, something's wrong.
How did your brain with ADHD? Did you ever dabble in LSD?
Yeah, I've tried that. Yeah.
So how did LSD treat you?
LSDs like psychedelics are a funny one because it's almost like you feel like you're seeing all these perfectly geometrical shapes.
Did you get that on LSD?
Yeah.
And how do you find when you smoke hash?
Well, I mean, it's like...
Does it calm you or slow stuff down?
Like for me, it doesn't, like, for me, I used to do a lot when I was younger. And then I find, like, the more you have going on in your life, like, it'll amplify things, whether... If you've got a lot of shit going on in your mind, like I remember having around that time with the girlfriend and my friend dying like and all paranoid. That. Yeah, it's just like it can induce panic attacks, like, and some people love it. Like some people, it calms their brain down. But for me, if I have it, it'll speed it up times 15. And some of the worst trips I've ever been on is just going, oh yeah, I'll have a drag of that. And then you're just in a world of, So I think, again, like the whole thing with weed, because it's illegal, you don't know what you're getting. And it's the same as like if you look over there at your bottles there, it's like they're all like covered in like a black label. You can't see what it is. It's like, what's this? Oh, it's whiskey. What whiskey? Don't know. And that's the same problem as when you're buying weed from. Could be sprayed with shit. Could be a different strain. Could be sativa. Could be indica.
What's the weirdest trip you ever had? As in, did you ever have one that was brilliant and life changing, and you remembered for ages?
Don't know. I've had some good times on the chats with people, you know, back in the day. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Then you didn't have one.
I probably did, but I'm just. It's like if you say, "Oh, what's your favorite joke?" I'm like, "Oh, you know." But if I was to give it some thought,
what do you think happens when you die?
It's a good question. It's a question that.
Do you ever think about it?
Often, since I was a kid. You know, like I was even having a conversation with my daughter about this today, and she was like, I see everyone. I mean, I see she has the same kind of philosophical or existential questions I did. And I said to her, well, you know.
What age is she?
14, or she's soon to be 14. And she's very similar to myself. And she was saying about, you know, like people just carry on in the world with it, you know, as if we're not going to die one day. And I said, well, there's two things you can be sure of. It's death and taxes. So you may as well. I said to her, to enjoy your life as much as you can without doing harm to others and be a force of good in the world. And even the bad times you experience, you will look back in the future and then you'll be like, well, I'm glad that was something that was bad, but it helped to shape me and make me more resilient. And so I think, and I said to her, one of the most important things to do, even if you're in your kind of darkest hour, is to look at the things you're grateful for. And gratitude is, I saw like just a clip you passed through on social media once. It said how fear and gratitude cannot coexist at the same time. So if you have your worries or your fears, which we all do, just go. I mean, it's just simple things like if your phone breaks, that's shit. You know, just be like grateful that you've got a phone, or you know, grateful that we have a roof over our head, that we have a family that love us, that we have our health and our faculties, our senses. And I think just, you know, like for me, like, you know, I was raised Catholic and I kind of feel, all right, well, I'm not gonna like join the Raelians or Buddhism or something, but I still maintain, I still say my prayers, and I still.
Do you ever wish life wasn't so complicated? Like, what I do find life so complicated. I'm not talking about work. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking about, you know, you have kids. So we do this thing where we constantly lie to our kids, as in hide the real world from them, so as they can grow up before they understand the real world.
Yeah.
So you constantly tell them all these little lies to ease them into the world. Yeah.
Or that, I guess that's what fables and fairy tales.
Yeah, and then like you don't want them watching the harshness of the news, you know, especially the young kids.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to like ease them into it. So you're doing that, and then you're trying to be a father, and then you're trying to be a husband, you're trying to be a brother, and everyone's different to everybody else. But then, because I speak for a living, I have this thing where I struggle with it all the time, where I do ask myself, spend a lot of time on my own, it's a problem, right?
Yeah, but it's a good thing as well.
Well, I ask myself, are the things I'm saying really what I think?
Or are they something that was instilled via programming?
So when I'm saying stuff,
I do as well. I ask the same question.
Yeah, and I say a lot of things that are wrong. And you know, I say a lot of things that could be wrong.
At least you're aware of that, though.
But I'm trying to say what I think.
More whiskey?
Yeah, I'm trying to say what I think. Do you want ice?
Oh, yes, please.
I try to actually say what I think.
Very expensive whiskey.
But I worry. Grab your hands in there. Grab your hands.
Fuck me. Can't reach.
Wait, no. I'll spill out the whiskey. I'll spill out the water.
That's me on fucking TV, man.
I know.
You're good crack, lads. You really are. You're sound men.
Are you telling me you haven't done a HEPA podcast like this?
No, because I live in Sweden and it's difficult. Well, I've done a few remotely, but this is great. This really is. Thank you very much. This is. I'm expecting Alex Jones to burst in, going,
"Yeah, you know, Dave Cuddy's a great guy. You know, is talking about the programming there, the Bilderbergers, Peter Thiel, they're technocratic over taking."
But have you heard the Hardy Books podcast at all?
I haven't.
Oh, I promise you, if you're working.
I was listening to the Dead Hedgehogs.
Oh yeah,
And that's
Chrissy Gavigan
it
and the
doesn't
boys.
be on all the time. They do more lives than anything.
Yeah, Chris Gavigan, he was saying, fucking Dave Cuddy's fucking sound, man. Fucking Dave Cuddy, fucking sound.
I've had Owen on.
Yeah, he was like, I was on there with Cuddy. He's a great fucking good lad, man. It's great crack. You'll enjoy it. They're all good lads. Like I said to Owen 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I was like, let's do the Hardy Books podcast. If we did it, man, we'd be fucking flying it now. It stands to reason. Hardy Books podcast, even like in character, it'd be fucking great. Like we're not on TV, but we could make content. So I continued on doing the Hardy Books podcast. There was interviews on it, and then I've been doing the Hardy book, and I've really got to finish it. I was listening to it. You know when you like listen to speech.
What do you mean? You're recording a book?
Yeah. So I haven't done. The last time I did it was about 2 years ago. But
do you read books?
I don't read as much as I should do. And a friend of mine, Dave McKinney, he goes, Martin, do you like your prose and the way you write it's fucking genius.
And are you writing?
Yeah. Well, not with a quill
Typing.
and inkwell, but typing like. And he was like, do you read much? I'm like, well, I would consume a lot of social media. Like I'm on Twitter all the time, like
but stay away from that, man.
That's cuntish, but it's like it's addictive because it's. They know what they're doing, the bastards.
I don't even read comments.
Oh, there's no point. There's no point in reading comments. It's like there's loads of people fucking shitting on us on.
Listen to bad
Reddit.
singers.
Listen to bad singers. Like, do
you
you know what?
life.
You're dead right. Listen to bad singers. They bring. Isn't it amazing the joy that they would bring?
The joy. And he was messaging me last night, and he was sharing, and he was thanks for the support, and I was there. Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah, but
you know what? Good.
But like I said, X Factor gets boring when it gets into the professional levels.
But I'd love to have that confidence.
Yeah.
I'm doing my first live show.
You are?
Yeah.
When's
28th of November, is it?
Where is it?
In Mayo.
Really? TF?
No, fuck no. Donald
Alan
Burns.
Clark
Eileen's.
Oh, in Eileen's?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Donald's a fucking legend, man.
You see, I want to do...
It's great crack.
I want to do crowd work.
Yeah.
I want to chat to crowds, and I want 100, 150. I don't want any more because I want to do it in the same system as I do my Patreon.
Yeah.
Like Patreon changed my life. It changed how I do it.
How do you like? Because like I there's a Patreon there of Hardy Books, but I was just like, too much going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was effectively a single father then.
You think about it different like this. This is what I do. The Patreon is a release for us, isn't it? Yeah. Something we look forward to every week.
Yeah.
Because
what do you be doing? Like, we
come in. And I go, I'm coming on to do a Patreon. Chat you in an hour or 2 hours. And they ask the questions and they put in the topics. Could be anything. It can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And you just chat away. You chat to the few people that are in. I bring in my brothers, I bring in my friends. We have a few drinks. We talk shy. I could be asked a question. It could be 30 questions, 40 questions. But it could go anywhere.
This is a brilliant setup. You have your own Jamie here, like.
I have my own Jamie. I've went through a few.
Yeah, but he's fucking solid, man. You remind me of a friend of mine called Sam Pino from Boston. He's just solid and good crack.
He's an encyclopedia of stuff that nobody should know. I retain information that is useless to everybody. And Michael is another friend of mine who comes on. He believes in nothing. He's just deadpan. Everything that we say, he goes, bullshit.
It's a good crew.
That is low shit.
The setup you have here is amazing. I walked in, I was like, the boys like fucking Joe Rogan job, man.
I started doing the podcasts, and I have put every penny that I have made out of my shop into this.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's buried me in debt for the last while.
Yeah, but look at it, man. It's like, how much are these Canons?
Oh God, we've gone through a few of them.
Are they 50mm lenses? Are they?
We've loads of lenses. There's loads. Depends how many people here. We've often had 6 or 7 people here.
See, for me, like, if I was back in Ireland, it'd be so much easier. Like I say about Sweden, it's just anytime you chat to someone, it's like, yeah, we'll do something, and everyone's.
Why do you not move home?
The kids, man. Like, I mean, like I love my kids to bits, and like
they wouldn't move.
And I wouldn't want to uproot them either. Do you know what I mean? But like at the same time, I think like they've cousins over here, and it's good crack. Like if you could combine the best elements of both countries, it'd be great.
I was able to get home from Sweden in less time than it took to get home from Galway in County Cork.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like.
We used to get onto the we'd have it planned out to a T. We'd get onto the high-speed train. It was 5 minutes into the town, onto the high-speed train, fucking Malmo and fucking up into Copenhagen airport, on the fucking plane. Sometimes we missed it, but we had it right down to a fine hour.
Yeah.
Into the airport, into the M5, down home.
Have you been back since?
No.
No,
we did. We went to this forestry show.
Yeah.
But I have 4 kids.
Fair play, man. Level 4. How old are your kids?
14 is the oldest, and my youngest is 2.
Busy man.
I drive a forwarder every week, and I have the shop, and I have the podcast.
So how did you get into the podcasting?
All accidental.
Yeah, what happened?
I was being banned off everything, blocked off everything, and I wouldn't sign up to AdSense. So a friend had told me, you have to be a journalist, and you have to have a media company, and I wasn't going back to college to be a journalist. So if you're a director of a media company, guess what?
What happens then?
You're kind of a journalist.
Oh, really?
So it's a little legal loophole that you can get around. So it just escalated. But I just love doing it. And I remember when I started, I've gone through 2 podcast rooms. I had another podcast room down in Galway, and then I got this one. And I remember I got a producer friend of mine say, I'm thinking of doing a podcast. And he says, stick to this and have a little bit of a comedy sketch. And I was there, I just want to talk to people.
Yeah.
And everyone was there, look, you're not fucking Joe Rogan, like. And I'm there, it's not about being Joe Rogan. I just want to talk to people.
It's about being Dave Cuddy.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I do them whenever I want. And because I'm not worried about sponsorship, if I don't want to do a podcast, I just fucking don't do one.
That's the same as myself.
I put them out when I want. Now I do the Patreon every single week without fail.
Yeah.
And they could be 2-3 hour podcasts.
Yeah.
But this one is going out to the public, and I put these out when I think it's a one worth doing. But the abuse you get.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you get on, you'll get abused.
But you'll always get abused. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like, it's like, why would you worry about pushing stuff out if people are just...
Do you know what, David, as well? Like, the things that, there are things that if you were to listen to American people talk about on a podcast, that's all right. They can talk about that because they're from America, and America's really big. But if you talk about similar issues here in Ireland, it's like, oh, geez, that's bad, man. And it'd just be the same kind of, like, the same with when Hardy Books came out. The amount of times there'd be people on the radio complaining, like, when it went out on TV, fuck me, it was like Colin Hayes, Midwest Radio. It was just, it divided the nation. And
the Dubs didn't like it, you see.
Oh, the Dubs, like, I have to say, the Dubs were fine. Like, loads of Dubs fucking love it.
After it became sexy.
No, even at the time, I remember, like, coming back from...
No, they hated it.
Fair enough.
I often was talking to them, they're fucking cunts.
You know what was really nice about it? I remember speaking to there's 2 types of people. I met one lad who was at, like, a boarding school, and every Monday night, all these lads, I don't know if it was Gormanstown or another boarding school, well-to-do lads, and they'd be there on a Monday night, and they'd all be sitting there watching the Hardy Books every Monday. And then I met another lad who was in Mountjoy, and he's like, every fucking Monday, man, we'd all be there watching it. And I was like, what an amazing span of society that you had people in a boarding school and Mountjoy, but there was something there that brought all these lads together to enjoy the crack.
I remember the first episode I watched, and everyone was talking about it, and I was like, I'm not watching it, fucking Mayo, and listening to that shite.
What's wrong with Mayo, man?
Yeah, and next thing, I was mid-watch it, and I remember the first scene that I watched was you trying to get Owen to drink. Go on, yeah, you're a legend, man. You're a legend.
Deliver the crack.
Yeah. You're a legend around town. You're serious. You're serious. And then I had to go back and I fucking watch it all.
Oh, but the thing is, the more you watch it, the funnier it gets. It's like, and the thing is, I forget episodes. Like, I hadn't seen it for years, and a good friend of mine, Paddy Patton, fucking good lad, great physio. Ross Commons, physiotherapist. He's a good lad. I got to give a shout out to Paddy Schween, Paddy Patton from Ackle. That man and myself over in Sweden, we're in it together, boy. We're in it together. But I remember he came over to mine for a weekend, and I was like, fucking throw the feet up there, and we put a bit of Hardy Books on. And I remember watching it. It's been years since I watched it, and I watched the full YouTube to the 4th series, and I was like, fuck me, man, this is great stuff. Like,
what made you the saddest? Did you get emotional watching any of it? Is there any episode that makes you emotional?
In some ways you think like how fast time goes by, you know, and there are people in it who've come and gone, like poor old Ali Carter as well. Like he unfortunately died way too young, and it really upset me how, you know, there's assholes on fucking Reddit talking about him, and how the media really went with it, and you know what, like the Carter family in Swinford are the soundest people you could ever meet, and Ali, like in terms of like, I used to love talking with Ali because he was, I fucking great crack, man, you know what I mean? But like his internal gut instinct of how the world was working was on point, and that hit me hard when he passed away. I hadn't seen him for a couple of years. Like there's a lot of lads we haven't seen. I met Kofi up in Dublin there about a month ago, and he was like, "Hey Martin, how you doing, man?" I'm like, "Hey Kofi, I've fucking seen you in years." It was just, we used to be a real tight crew, and like, I suppose with me moving to Sweden, it was difficult to get back, and I'd love to get the boys back together, man, because you know it's just, you're constantly having a laugh.
Do you ever think, I fucked it up by moving to Sweden?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, look, when I was moving back to Sweden, it felt like I was fucking cutting a limb off. Like, I love being home. Like, Ireland's my home. And you know, you get people going, "Hey, you fucking Englishman." I'm like, fucking deaf cunts. You know what? It's like, when we, like, that really annoys me, because it's like, you've got, like, I've seen comments being like, "Oh, he's English, I'm not listening to him." It's like, so if they themselves had a child abroad, that would then mean their child is from Belgium. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we were raised as being like culturally Irish. We were proud of being Ireland. And I remember as a kid, you know, the way sometimes in your mind you have these like images, like snapshots in your mind from when the thought was you first had a thought in childhood, and whatever it was, I remember it, like I always had this vision of, like, I think it was Mount Nathan, like in Mayo. It was just like there was a big mountain, and anytime when I was a kid, I think back to Ireland. So we lived in England, and that was our home when we lived there. But our home was Ireland. And I always had this like snapshot in my mind of this mountain. I don't know if it was like Achill or Nathan, but like, you know, like that's something that when you're home, or when you live in a place, you take it for granted. And it's only when you go traveling the world, like when you're down in New Zealand or Australia or in Canada, States, on the continent, how much it means to, or the UK, you know, it's like how much your Irishness means to you. And then to see the fucking wankers in the government and media and like academia that just don't give a fuck for it, man. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a land that has been steeped in millennia of trial and adversity, and, you know, saints and scholars, and the Irish, man, we're fucking sound people, and there's a lot of wankers here as well, but just the culture. We, like, when you go to the States and you hear about, I was in Ireland, man, like I was in this like tiny town called Galway, and it's like, Galway's a fucking city. But then you think, all right, this guy's from Boston or Arizona or from Phoenix or something. It's like, yeah, it would look like a small town in comparison. And then you realize, like, we're like Sicily. We come from it's a tiny island, and there's so many beautiful characters from this country.
What?
And
do you know, when you went to loads of different countries, what country did you go to that, whether it be the architecture or the people, that felt spiritual or not spiritual, but gave you a feeling of, oh, this is majestic or something, or this is the most beautiful place I've
New
ever
Zealand, man. Like, New Zealand is like, it's like a Ireland times 10. Like, it's crazy. Like, we were driving, just like we did too many gigs in too short of a space of time, so we didn't really get to see much. So we're just driving. I remember driving down the road, same road signs, same side of the road, same landscape. And when you're down that far away from home on the other side of the planet, like, Australia feels closer. Like, I'd never been that far from home before, but the weird thing, it was like the uncanny resemblance to Ireland, like how much it looked like. And then I'd be like, this is like between Ballinagar or like driving between Tulsk and French Park. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with me, man? It's like, it looks so much like being in Ireland, but then you're like, I'm miles from home. You know, like I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side of the southern hemisphere, and that was. But New Zealand was great. Have you been?
I've never been.
Oh man, have you?
No.
It's fucking brilliant, man. It's awesome. Like, I met a friend of mine called Eric Lustrom, who I was like very, very tight with in Sweden. Great guy. Now works as a lawyer lives just about 45 minutes from Wellington. And he's crushing it, man. He's got a brilliant house on the beach overlooking like this bay with nice mountain and cliff kind of scenery. And I was like, wow, Eric, man, you know, he's got a daughter and he's got a dog and he's set up. But at the same time, I was like, do you ever miss like being home? And he's like, yeah, I do. And like, I met a guy in Hamilton from Kerry he was an AI man, as in like not artificial intelligence.
Ramming the
old ding dong man. And I was just like he was enjoying the crack down there. But I was like, but you're fucking miles from home. Same like meeting lads in like Edmonton, where I bought this t-shirt. Like, it's you know, where there's like Ireland is such a small country, but we've produced such a massive diaspora across the world. Like, and if you imagine like everyone who had Irish lineage was like, right, we're moving back to Ireland.
Did you ever chat to your dad about that? Because that's what he done. He moved out to get a better life for all you.
Yeah, they went to London, and I remember my mum back in the day saying, like, I never seen a traffic light or a black man till I went to London. And I remember my mum saying like how the Caribbean people she lived with were really looked after, and there was sound, like everyone was stealing milk, and there was a guy from it was either Barbados or Trinidad, and he'd be like, Mary, I kept your milk for you. And she was like so they grew up in they were kids, man. Like, when I was a kid living in Australia, they were adults, but like my mum was 21 when she had my elder sister Tricia, and my dad was 24.
They were very young.
Yeah, and like my dad, she worked like as a childminder and worked, you know, as a cleaner, and my dad was working like doing graft, like civil projects, and you'd hear about these legendary places like the Rose and Crown in Cricklewood or like Camden.
Did you chat to your father much about his youth or when he was growing up, or what it was like?
Oh, I tell
you had him on the podcast.
You know what? I nearly thought, I wonder if I brought my dad on the podcast.
Should. My
dad is the funniest. Right. So me and my mum, we did a bit of cleaning in my dad's house yesterday, and it's just like he keeps the place well, but he wouldn't think of like cleaning around
they
like
move
door
home
for him. So the thing is, my parents split up when I was 9, and that was a hard time, because when you have and that's why I feel bad about my own kids, is like, you know, and I know what it's like to come from a family that...
Is that why you were back and forward?
Yeah, and my mum said, like, she was like, oh, we're moving. So my 2 elder sisters, they were old enough to stay on in the UK. So me and my younger sister moved back. And so, yeah, like my dad lived in England, and I was here, and like basically I was the man of the house at 13. And, you know, like I have a very, very strong relationship with my mum. She's a very wise
Can you remember
woman.
him breaking up when you were young?
Yeah, I can. It fucking sucked, man. You know, and I'm like, and I know that my kids also know that about me, and that's why. Like, I had a good chat with my daughter on the phone today, and like I said to her, it's my job to prepare you for the world ahead, and I'll always be honest and open and frank with my kids, and my parents were like that. Like, there was nothing I couldn't tell either my mum or dad. But my dad, he's like, I realized that he's got ADHD.
Same as you.
Yeah, and it's genetic. But I think there is a role in society for people who have, like, you've probably got a drop of it yourself.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, there's, I don't know about you, no, I don't know about you, like, but there's a role for it, man. You know, they reckon there's about, I heard before, I think it's about 240 different archetypal personalities, and they all have some sort of role. Some of them are fucking a bit out there and mad.
So what do you and your dad talk about?
He likes the horses, the pints, the crack, the laughter. And like the thing is, my dad was always like this. Like when I was working, you've no fucking interest in a job, son. But if he, you know, and I think I was only recently I was thinking about like the way my dad, and even my uncle, my mum's brother, you fucking useless donkey. And like my mum were having a conversation like, and she was like, you got to be really careful about how you speak to kids. You know, you really do, because they don't have the ability to filter out the nuance of things. And I think back to like, I was sent off to work with uncles and stuff as a child who didn't understand irony or sarcasm. And I would take things literally, and you bring that on with you. And, but my dad myself, like, so the other day, like, he's always given out, but I know he's very proud of me at the same time.
Did you ever ask him?
I know it, like, I know.
Yeah, but did you ever actually ask, as your father, are you proud of me?
He says it. I'm proud of you, son. I remember we were working on my uncle, the same uncle I was working with back in 2006. It was the day after Kerry bet Mayo in the All Ireland, and my dad put £200 on Mayo to win. And we went out on a Sunday night, got fucking steamed in Liverpool. And the next day we were working doing a bit of plastering in Lavin's shed. And he was getting a bit snappy with me, and I said something to him, and me and my dad started fucking fighting. There's a fella, Richie Keogh from Limerick, going, oh jeez, fuck's sake, let's fuck steady on. And I remember he came at me with a spade, and I fucking grabbed it out of his hands and threw it, and it bent all the angle beads on this newly finished plastered window. And we tussled it out anyway, and I walked out onto the street, and I was like, fucking lunatic, man. And then he comes out, and he goes, fucking proud of you, son. The two of us were like hugging it out on the street in broad daylight on a Monday. But he's a fucking head case, man. But I love him to bits. He's it's funny when you look at your parents, and one thing is to look at your parents from when you were a kid yourself, and then you look back and your parents were then younger than you are now. And then you think, like, that's the good thing about when you get older, you see things through experience, and you let things go.
And when you get older, you realise none of us know what we're doing, like.
No.
We're all just winging it.
Yeah, but the thing is, some of us are more honest than others. Like I'm fucking too honest. I mean, I haven't a clue what I'm doing. Then it was like, oh, I'm sacked again. And we're like I remember I was, like a couple of years back, I was working as a music teacher in a school, and I was doing a bit of fucking caretaker work. It was a handy old number, like. And this other caretaker guy, he was like just walking around looking busy, and I was actually doing like putting things together, building things, like taking the experience in the sites, and he got all threatened by the job, or that I was showing him up, and he'd be just walking around like wiping cupboards like this, and I was like, what the fuck are you at, man? And I was like cutting the Hardy Bucks podcast at the same time, and the fuckers got me fired because they were jealous pricks. I remember there's this one kid, half Polish kid, half Swedish guy. He was like, Mr. Maloney, please can you stay? You're the best teacher we've ever had. And I was like, this is going to be short-lived. Sure enough, conspired against me. Fucking English school, Tira, sir, you cunts! And if I ever get my hands on that fucking tan bastard Stuart Walsh and that Frederick cunt, where's that camera? I'll fucking kill you to death. Cunts.
Do you hate anyone? Or who has upset you the most in your life?
I don't even fucking know anymore. Do you know what I mean?
It's
weird. Much like yourself, people have upset you, and there's people who you probably say, I hate them. But as time heals all wounds, and then when you get older and more stoic about things, you're like, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I like when I was younger, I would say, I hate that person. And it's something that I very rarely use the word about. Like I would dislike someone, you know. But it's funny. Like I don't know. I kind of like. There probably are people who I'm like, that guy's a fucking twat.
When you come home, hard day, stressed out, pissed off, chap's gone to bed, woman's gone to bed, you want to relax.
Pull myself asunder.
Other than wanking, what would you do?
Fucking scroll through Twitter, or
Twitter is not going to calm you down.
So much of my productivity, man. It's Do you know what? I feel like the older I get, the more I'm like, just I feel like the testosterone is running out, and I feel like the battery is. Do you feel it yourself? The older you get, like you don't have that same.
I feel tired. But there's not enough hours in the day to do it. But I enjoy. I think I'd have so much going on. I think it keeps me from thinking about all the things that could be pissing me off.
Yeah, that's how I am as well.
I think busyness.
Every now and again, as a treat, I'll play Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation.
I wish I could.
That's rare, you know.
I miss playing PlayStation.
Yeah, you know yourself. It's like you think to yourself, if you do shit like that, you're like, what else could I have done with that time? There's a sense of guilt all the time when you get to a certain age.
I think things like that are so important. Like, I'm lucky I get to play with machines. So my little time for my headspace is getting to use that hand-eye coordination. You sort of zone out.
It's brilliant crack. Like if I was doing it, like I got the machine. I paid like fucking $3,000 to get the machine.
You have to do a bit of. You have to twist that. If you're not happy with it, tighten it. Oh, that's the wrong way.
Oh, that worked.
Oh, did it work?
Did you?
All right.
But
they're the same ones Joe Rogan has.
But the thing is, again, with Sweden, too much bureaucracy. So I've been driving machines since I was a kid. And now if there was complicated things like doing like a very level embankment, I wouldn't have that kind of skill. But like general driving machines sound, but it was something very, very precise. And I went looking for work driving machines. Oh, you need to have 5 to 10 years experience. And I should have lied. But again, too fucking honest. And I thought, well, this would be a great job between doing gigs and acting just to work, because I do it all fucking day. I love it. As you know yourself, you sit there all day and it's just, it's like playing PlayStation. It's like I can zone out and I can feel comfortable. And like, I don't know, man, like I was saying, my uncle, when I was 16, when I was working with him at the end.
Working with him. Say, look, uncle, there's a heap of work over here in Sweden. Bringing out Proclaim over here. And we'll work away.
Stop the lights.
Do you know what you should do now? Go work a forestry machine out in Sweden.
Forestry machine. But the thing is, it's outside. Like, the thing is, there are jobs, but it's miles away from the family. You know, so I could go up to Yelavala, which is a huge mine. And like, for me, I've always wanted to drive massive quarry excavators. Like the huge ones. The Komatsus or the... So
when you're, as a daily job now, what are you doing?
Musician. I do gigs. But I probably could be doing a bit more. But I want to get back into making TV. But the thing is, I'm over in Sweden. And then it's just... But now I have the freedom to come back and do... Like, I do fucking anything, man. I was working as a chef there. I thought, over the pandemic, I was like, I've always wanted to... I'm a very handy chef. I was always wanted to work in the kitchen. And after a while, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? Stressful as
fuck.
Yeah, I mean, now if I could get a restaurant, if I was to open a restaurant and oversee it and hop in every now and again. Food van. I did that before as well.
Eddie Durkan's Donuts.
Oh, I was doing Tex-Mex.
Durkan Donuts.
Tacos.
Oh, that's nice.
But the thing is, it was like they put the price from 300 quid per year for the parking ticket to 3,000. And I was like, that's a lot of extra tacos. And then the best places in town for a food truck, they closed them. Like, you couldn't go there. So, like, again, over-regulated. Like, if you talk to Eugene Greeny and Ronan and the boys who do Dobros, they did that here in Ireland. And it's Ireland, to be fair. You know them? Yeah, they're very, very well. And I have to say, have you been to the...
No, I've seen stuff. My brother Mark gets stuff. They send out things to people. They send out dough to people in a way of making the pizza.
I'll tell you this, right? It is... I went there last time, and I have to say, it is the best pizza I've ever eaten. To the point where I'm like, lads, I take the hat off to you. It is the best pizza I've ever eaten. And you lads are Galway, Swinford boys too. And they're fucking crushing it, man. They're in the top 15 in the world.
Would you reckon, in your own opinion, that you're a tender and tentative lover?
Oh yeah, always. I was always a lover who would make sure the partner was pleased before I finished the job.
Fair play to you. I could never do it.
Do you know what? What? Satisfied customer will always come back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never worried about anyone coming back. No one ever said anyway.
I was always a Don Julio.
So what's the plan now that you're home?
We have a gig there on the 25th in the INEC, and
Where's the INEC?
in Killarney.
Killarney.
I've never I've only been to Kerry once.
What?
I don't know why it's like the one place.
Kerry's awesome.
Kerry, I've been to Waterford and Wexford maybe once, but I've never been to Wexford town. There's certain parts of the country I've never been to. Kilkenny, I've never been to Kilkenny.
What?
I've never been to Kilkenny.
First Hardy Books, 3 books gig I went to was in Kilkenny.
Well, that's not too far from here, is it?
No, it's a hen's kick.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, Kilkenny's fucking great.
It was in a church.
Yeah.
Great night. Everyone's going well. And then we had this loud one, right? And I could see, I'd met Stephen a few times. This one came in drunk. She was making a lot of noise and she was just, you know, the ones that are just trying to make the show about them. She ended up falling. Ambulance had to come. Show had to stop. Had to take her out. The whole lot.
It's funny because I've noticed that a lot of the gigs we do in Ireland, there always seems to be one very drunk woman. Is it the same doll or is it?
I wouldn't think it's the same doll. No.
He's quite the Lothario.
Yeah, I think he's so much sex appeal.
Yeah.
It's the beard and the wink.
The beard.
It's the beard and the wink, and then you adorn that white tight shirt.
Ah.
And he's just got it going on.
Tights the duck's arse, that shirt.
And then like he'd wear pointy shoes as well.
The Winkle Pickers.
His pointy shoes.
Yeah, you know.
It's like the Pied Piper.
And you know that man, since school, I remember like he was me and him were big into the Doors, and he went to Boston and he came back with a pair of leather pants.
I fucking heard about the leather pants.
Oh man, they were like four times too big for him. And he was walking around. How are you got down, lads? What are you having? Do you know what? Anytime you'd see him, he was the most fucking generous. Like anytime, what are you having, boys? He was like he grew up too fast. Do you know what I mean? But he was always real easy going, no fucking bother at all. And anytime you'd see him, that's why we asked him to be the show. Like he was in my year in school. I never fucking seen him in school, but I'd see him downtown wearing the uniform. I was like, does he go? Is he some sort of fucking genius kid who goes to like a special part of the school because he's like got some sort of fucking high IQ Mensa debating society thing going on? Turns out he just wasn't going to school for like a year.
Just sitting around pricking.
Yeah, but you know what? To be fair, he was on the job. He had a girlfriend who was from a couple of years older than him in school, and I was like, Kelly, man, you got it fucking solved. You can't. But he always was a legend, man. Just like he's a real cool customer, you know. And
when's the last time you went to cinema for yourself?
That's a
not
good
the
question.
Kids, not
that's
the
a good
kids.
question. That's a good one. I used to go to the cinema the whole time, and after a while, I was like, "What am I watching? Fucking franchises and Marvel and all that kind of stuff." Off the top of my head, I do you know what? The last time I went to the cinema was about maybe 2.5 years ago, and I went to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem
with the kid.
2 kids.
Since you, as an adult, what's the last movie you wanted to see in cinema?
Oh yeah. I really can't remember, to be honest with you. I can't remember.
What's your favourite movie?
I'd say Lord of the Rings or Predator or Aliens. I don't know.
There's a new Predator film coming out. Looks awesome.
Does it though?
It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because
Dakota Fanning in it or something?
Yeah, she is. But the last Predator movie, it's an it's a movie I watched. It was fucking brilliant.
Were you a big fan, were you?
Was, yeah.
It!
But they done all the other films were shit. All the reboots and everything were shit. They were
like
so bad.
Aliens versus Predator.
Shit.
Fuck, like think back to before it happened. It's like Aliens versus Predator.
Excited.
This is going to be amazing.
Yeah. How could they get it wrong?
But you know what? I watched it recently and it wasn't too bad. But it wasn't. Like,
did you watch the animated series on Netflix?
I didn't know there was one.
Watch that. It's not a series. It's a movie. Best thing I've seen in the franchise ever.
Do you know what was a brilliant animated series? The Godzilla series that was out on Netflix a couple years ago. That was fucking brilliant, man. It's basically, I think it was like Godzilla, Planet of Monsters or something. And so there's a whole load of spaceships that have to get out of Earth because Godzilla was a big lad. And you think to yourself, so everyone just fucked off from Japan, or was the rest of the world like, we're all right, but the Japanese just whatever the weather, Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters, I think, and they just.
I'm gonna watch that. And see.
It was great. It was
you watched the Predator film.
Yeah,
it's animated.
Right.
Let me know what you think.
I will.
I'll watch the Godzilla one.
Yeah.
I'll check back in with you next week.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Well, I will. Yes.
And
I watched it with the old boy.
What is your favorite cartoon that you used to watch religiously when you were young? Couldn't wait to get home from school, turn it on and watch it.
There was a good few of them now, to be fair. I like Ren and Stimpy. Do you ever remember one called Bucky O'Hare?
No.
I remember that came out when I was about 10. It was fucking great. It's like this. It was a rabbit or a hare, and they were fighting these frogs. They were like, there was this bad plan. It was basically like Star Wars, but with anthropomorphic characters. And they had like, so there was like this frog bad guy was called Cortex, and he had all these other frogs, and they were like the.
You would have hit channels when you were young.
I suppose it did, yeah.
You'd fancy channels.
We did. The Mask was good crack.
Never
the
seen
Tick.
That. Why did you?
42.
Jesus,
now, that would have been a big change back in the day.
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years. Like, you would have been 3 years ahead of me in school. Like, that lad's fucking smoking, playing pool downtown.
Yeah, 3 years when you were a young lad. I was like the Batman series and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Spider-Man.
Batman. I remember that. I remember seeing the episode Feet of Clay about it wasn't the Sandman. It was the character who was made of clay. Clayface, yeah. That was the job.
Yeah.
That was a great episode. I remember seeing that was about 12 on the old Cartoon
Did you
Network.
Remember that movie? Because back in the 80s and the early 90s, not that puppeteering got big. Jim Henson had moved from
Fraggle
Rock in it, but then he started doing movies and he done Dark Crystal. Do you remember Dark Crystal?
Yeah. I remember it, but I can't remember much from it.
Well, they have a new series of the Dark Crystal on Netflix, and it's actually really good.
What do you think of Netflix these days?
Shit now.
Yeah.
They're just pumping out too much content.
Yeah.
It's like everything else.
There's a lot of weird shit, like a lot of serial killer, like that.
That's a weird little trend.
It is. It is a weird fucking morbid fascination of
and there's
bad
a morbid
shit.
Fascination of the biggest podcasts in the world are crime and murder dramas.
Yeah. Like, what does that do as a kind of what's the ripple effect on people's
zeitgeist?
Like, to hear about people being dismembered in gruesome ways.
Did you watch Monster? Everyone was telling me about
Charlize Theron.
No, that was a good film, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, you one with the Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Like, why would I watch that?
Lad.
You know, I stopped watching.
Let me tell you about this, right? Everyone was telling me
he
about
was a bad
this.
cunt, man. He was a seriously bad bastard.
I did not know that he is the inspiration for Hannibal Lecter, for The Silence of the Lambs, for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for all those movies, all those Psycho, were all about him.
About him.
He killed, rode, fucked, dissected, and gave people's body parts to his neighbours to eat, telling them that it was stuff he was hunting. And he was digging up dead people and like Savage would say, riding.
Why do we need to glamorize that? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it was glamorizing it, but it is the form of entertainment, and it's just strange.
But when you think about it, why does that need to be like? When you think about it, his victims died in the most fucking gruesome ways, and not only did they get killed, they were dismembered, and
he made furniture out.
Yeah, like sick shit. And then, like, what goes through the mind of someone who goes, I don't know, let's write this. I know, I could totally get serious about this.
Because, hey, we're voyeurs. It's like when we slow down to watch a car crash. It's like, no, don't see it. No, dude, I'm going to show you. I fucking know why did I watch it.
All that kind of shit, man, it affects me on a deep level, you know what I mean? It's, like, I remember a friend of mine, Jens, like, Jens, big shout out to Jens, if you so happen to be watching this. Like, he'd be watching, oh, have you seen this? And there'd be like some guy at a boardroom meeting in the bank just crashes, like, I'm gonna do it. And there's no, and he just fucking like shoots himself, and there's blood gushing out of his nose. I'm like, why did you show me this? Or like, show me a video of some kid, some like young lad who jumped out of a car, but as he's jumping out of a car, he fucking whacked his head and I was like, this shit like stuck with me for years. You know what I mean? And it's like I said earlier on about the whole peace and prosperity thing. I don't like when, like, I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and you've got.
Like we're all different. Like I
remember Rotten.com.
Oh, I hate that.
You know what I mean? Like
that
there's shit I seen on that still sticks with me years later. And the internet now with GoPros and like surveillance cameras, like, you know, I don't know how many people I've seen being killed or beaten off the fuck.
Yeah, they're desensitizing everyone now.
Man, like the Gaza shit, man. I've seen things on X from there, and I'm like, this is
TikTok and everything same. It's a weird culture where we can be watching stuff, but you can't talk about. Like, if I mentioned like vaccines or any of those things, it wouldn't go on. But I can watch Charlie Kirk getting his neck off and so can my kids.
Like that. Like my daughter had seen that. Like my girlfriend's daughter had seen that. It's like mental. The kids seen a man get shot through the neck. Like I remember, like, I got a text message from a friend of mine saying Charlie Kirk has just been fucking shot. I went, what? I looked it up, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit as a 42-year-old man over the years of all the stuff you see, and I went, Jesus! Like, I mean, like to see that,
and like it's just so weird. Like, if I create some content, like I put up a video of, I just know not to put them up now, but big field, we've a farm, young lad driving an old Jeep. He's 9 years of age. He's well able to drive. He's driving a Jeep. Banned. Damaging to children. Dangerous activity. Charlie Kirk, boom, grand.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like the whole...
Don't vape on a live, but you can watch Charlie Kirk getting killed.
Or if you're like, Steve was telling me he's doing a drink promotion, they said, oh, you can't be seen to be enjoying the drink. So what the fuck's the point of... Like, you know, like, this is the thing, like, I can't remember, I think it was about 11 years ago, 12 years ago now, we were doing some promotional thing. I think it was when I was on the fucking Celebrity Apprentice debacle. And I was on 104 FM and they were like, Martin, would you come on as a guest? Like, could we get you on? And so, yeah, no worries. I was on the way to Castle Bar with the ex-wife and the daughter. One pissy, rainy afternoon. I got the call. I pull into Ballymiles on the way to Castle Bar. And I get out the van. And it's like, well, Martin, how's it going? Yeah. The couple of asking about dating advice. What would you do if you were going dating and there's people out there hoping to meet a partner? What would you say to them? And I was like, look, you know, give them the be yourself, be cool, just, you know, dress up in some decent clobber, feel strong, hit the gym. And then I said, just get fucking smashed and it'll take care of itself. They cut me off and I never heard from them again. Now, in my experience, and this is, you know, completely, podcasting and whatnot, some of the fucking best times when it came to having top shagging came from being, I was so fucking smashed drunk that I was at the level of nearly puking, and there's a weird, bizarre state of grace that when you get that monged out, that you can, like, pull off a 3-way. And then the next day you were in bits, but that was
still occurred.
It still occurred, and now that's not advice I would be telling people to do. However,
relationship advice.
Yeah, but it's like obviously it was like I was foolishly drunk, like on a ridiculously level. But that's when it reminds me a bit of an Armando Iannucci sketch I saw about the perfect speed, which was 102 miles an hour. And if you're at 102 miles an hour, you just, everything just, it's golden. It's amazing. But it's the slowing down and speeding up. That was the dangerous bit. And it's a bit like that with drink.
I don't think you answered me. What do you think happens when you die?
Very good question. I don't know, man. If you look at, you said like you had a demonologist on and he found there was a weird energy down here in this building. And then what happened? He found out that someone had hung themselves.
Yeah.
I think, I would like to think that when we die, you know, this is something I give a lot of thought to. Like, is this whole thing an advanced version of Sims or an RPG? But our soul, when we go to bed at night, it's whatever's controlling this. It's like, all right, that'll do. And then we're just like, that's us logging off from this very long. It's like Daisy.
Imagine if you log off. Imagine if you log off and you go, oh, fuck, I failed again. I lost it. I lost again.
Who knows? It's like, and the only reason we look at it like this is because we have like computer games and movies as a point of reference. In the old days, it would have been a play. Like, oh, life is a play. Like if you listen to like Alan Watts talking, well, the according to the Indian culture of Hindus, it would have been a play. But like that's what they had as a reference. It was a simulation through a play. But we've got like movies and PlayStation games, and that's our point of reference. But you know, us trying to figure out what happens after we die is like a dog trying to figure out what FIFA is on a PlayStation 5. It's either it's a 50-50 shot. It's either nothing happens or something else happens. And if something else happens, then it's like, is it biblically what the Bible said? Is it what the Buddhists say? Is it what...
Would you have a feeling what you'd like it to be like?
Well, you know, that's a good question as well. These are some, you hit me with some hard-hitting questions. What, like, let's face it, it would be nice after the end of this, the souls that we encountered, our favourite souls, we all meet up afterwards. We're like, shit, man, I seen the way you went out. You know, it was like we've just gone to an escape room and it was filmed. It was like, oh, that was nuts. Who knows? Like, if you're going biblically and we live a good life and we don't go to purgatory, then we end up in heaven. But if you try and imagine heaven, like, if you imagine heaven, it's like, what is it? It's like, if we're not in this physical body, this vessel we're given, and you're like, okay, if it was like heaven, you'd be like, to be like swimming pools, be a big party, be like when you were a kid and you went to like the greatest birthday party ever, and you were like, the slides and shit, and you just had a great time running around? Or would it be like heaven when you were older and there was like loads of babes and you were just getting on the lush at a pool party and you were driving around a McLaren F1? Who knows? But like, is it when you die, the chemicals of the DMT gets released into your bloodstream, and if you lived a good life, your body has some sort of regulation and it goes, do you know what? You deserve a good ending. And then in the metaphysical realm of that chemical release of DMT, if somewhere in your mind there was like a meter of your conscience, that the bad shit you did was like, sorry about that, you designed this way, now you're going to be tormented in a 5-second span that feels like
forever.
Yeah. Or if you were really good and selfless and you did your best, there you go. It's fucking awesome. So when you're in that sense of, because if you fall asleep for like you have like a micro nap and you're like, you dream and you're like, fuck, how long was I asleep for? And you're like,
it's 20, like when you go on
20 seconds.
An actual DMT trip or an LSD.
Have you done a DMT?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. And
what was it like?
Thought it lasts forever.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not. It's only 15 minutes or that.
Yeah, but what was it like? Because I've never done
I done 3 DMT trips.
Yeah.
The first one terrified me.
Oh,
like, fucked me up. Like, fucked me up. I talked about it before on the podcast. I was living in Czech Republic. I was on my own. Didn't really know that many people. Everyone was gone home. Went to a few house parties with people I know. You know what it's like when you're in a country, language barrier.
Yeah.
You're at a house
Everyone's
party.
Chatting to each other and
you have drink taken. You're there.
Yeah.
You're thinking, why did I come fucking here? How am I going to get home?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to get a taxi. How much money have I? Where's my car? You're paranoid anyway.
Yeah. You're on the.
Thought I was going
footing.
back. Yeah. I thought I was going back. I thought I was getting lucky.
Yeah.
I was at a fucking house party. She asked me back to a house party, and I hate people I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I thought it was weed. I thought it was weed. And the place fucking stank anyway, so how the fuck would I know what?
Like.
And I took this fucking drag, and I'm not joking. I didn't think I was real for 6 months.
Really?
It fucked me up so bad that I didn't think I was having these panic attacks. I was sitting in the machine, and next thing I'd start thinking, fuck, I'm not real. This isn't real. I left the real world. This isn't the real world. I was there.
Well, that goes back to your question about like LSD and that. You have this
LSD
thing.
is different because it's like when you do weed and have a whitey, you're panicking because you know you're having one.
Yeah.
You're trying to control the situation and you can't.
Yeah.
And it just escalates.
And you have to like just accept it.
Accept it. And when you ingest THC, it has a weird old slowing down time vibe. DMT is different. You know, I am not in Kansas anymore. Everything is different. This is the real world. You know,
did you feel like a spiritual vibe to it?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yeah, you know what you did is, oh fuck, I didn't realize that this is reality. You just have this unbelievable vibe that you're not in the real world.
What happened the second?
So I talked to a few people because I didn't know what I was after doing.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a few people and like, oh look, you done that was DMT. So I knew what I was after happening. And then I was talking to a few other people and I go, look, you're just gonna have to do it again. It'll wipe you, but do it in a nice environment when you know what's going to happen. It's not going to, and I did. And I was like relaxed because the people that were going to help me do it had changed my life.
Really?
Oh, it was the best thing that happened. I am not condoning drugs. I've said this a couple of times, but I was in a bad old spot at the time.
Yeah.
And I was making bad decisions and I was a fucking loser and I was a dickhead and it was all me. And when I finished it, I was like, just everything worked out after that. I just knew that my problems were my own. Stop that shy. Do this and just move on.
So the mushrooms are good for that apparently, because they say, I mean, like the mushrooms, like
they make me sick.
The magic mushrooms. But do you get through it or?
No, I've had bad experiences with mushrooms.
But you see, it's all dosage as well. It's like, imagine, like even with weed, someone says, "Oh yeah, smoke this," and they've got like a huge, ridiculous coner, and then you're in a fucking world of weird shit. Whereas, but like the way we've had a few whiskeys here, like like with these people who are like real heroes, going, "I smoke so much bud, man," but it'd be like taking a bottle of that very fine 27 to 29-year-old Redbreast and just drinking a whole lot in one go, and then be like, "What's wrong with me?" And I think it's dosage.
But I think it's really interesting that every single culture, ancient and indigenous, all over the world, in every part of the world, has used DMT or ayahuasca as part of their culture to build their culture, have art, structure, have guidance from what they perceive as a different entity, when it could be just their inner conscience.
Yeah.
And maybe as ancient cultures were discovering, had more technology in that they were more close. I think, like I never was religious until I'd done that, and now I would be.
In terms of Christianity.
Yeah, and I've read an awful lot of books, and there's this really, really interesting book. And did you ever see The God Part? No, what was it? Oh, fuck, I have that book anyway. I'll put it in the description. But they used to think, the way Jesus used to have the disciples around and they used to break bread, and there's a lot of stories now that it was actually they were doing DMT.
Oh, really?
And doing mushrooms, and that that light around his head,
the halo,
that's actually the bottom end of a mushroom.
Really? Who knows, man? Like, if you're going to create, for whatever fucking reason we're created, if you want to look from a creator's point of view, what's the point in creating something if they know you're there? It'd be like, it wouldn't make for a very good experiment, let's say. Whatever reason, let's say if you're going with the Abrahamic strain of things, what would be the point in having? It's basically like, well, if you want, you can believe, or if you don't want to believe, you don't want to believe. It's a 50-50 shot. Yeah. Either there is something, there's not, and I like those odds. Yeah. And you kind of think to yourself.
I heard a comedian say it. I can't remember his name, but he said it. The only thing we know that there isn't is nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing we know that there isn't such thing as is nothing. And like the Big Bang came from something, and we were living in the most finely tuned universe.
But yeah,
like the gravity off by degrees, by tiny percentages, yeah, I mean, and everything's up in the air.
Like I was out walking with my sister the other day, and I said how the autumn comes in, the winds come from pressure systems from the south as the temperatures change. the wind that's generated from the temperature change knocks the leaves off the trees. The leaves off the trees fall, they decay, they give way to fungus, magic mushrooms as well, that people could take as antidepressants for the winter if they so choose. But everything works in balance and in its own time, in its own season, as we do as we get older. And everything kind of happens naturally. And we're living, I think in the modern age, we're living as far removed from what human beings should be doing. And I think that's why people are getting depressed, because people have too high expectations on what they should have materialistically.
Yeah, we overthink what we need.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd love to have an Audi RS6, but do I need it? No.
Yeah.
But like, I'm eaten, I'm clothed, I'm loved, and we're told through fucking bullshit, like, you need to be like hanging out on some beautiful pool in a tropical environment surrounded by beautiful Victoria's Secret models with a collection of exotic sports cars to be happy. Let's say we get to that level, and then we'd be like, this still doesn't make me happy. But it's the simple things in life that will make you happy. Like, if you live in a cottage and you have to make your own firewood, you have to chop it. When you light that fire and you empty the ashes and you light that fire, you've earned that fire. Something as simple as that. But this is the thing about when I live in Sweden. Like, there's a lot of people living in apartments, and everything's taken care of. Like, simple things like back in, like, if you're out on the frontier, you have to hunt your own food, you have to raise your own food, you have to forage, and you have to keep
more of a connection
warm
with nature.
Yeah. Whereas if you live in a city and it's just like, okay, Deliveroo, boom, there's food there.
People can't see the sky. Stars.
Yeah.
Looking at stars is awesome.
They're big time. And you look at the stars and you're like, how did we have such advanced knowledge of the stars back in like the Roman times or ancient Greece or Sumerian times, or
That's what I find what is lacking in human society now. Like, years ago, even though we weren't as clever as we are now, we built stuff.
So they say, like.
Yeah, but we built stuff like cathedrals, and we built stuff for no reason, just to build them.
Yeah, they were tributes.
Tributes to whatever they believed at the time. Whereas now it's more individual. Now it's an individual thing. We're all in this, billions of people all wanting everything. Guilty of it myself.
Yeah.
Guilty of it myself.
We're born into it. We're born into that, and cathedrals, the architect who would design the cathedral wouldn't live to see the end product of that design. The people who started laying the foundations and clearing the land knew that perhaps their grandchildren wouldn't see that.
There's a great novel called Babel. That's fucking awesome. It's about generations of people and why they built cathedrals back in the day. And it wasn't more about religion. It was about getting communities to do jobs together for the greater good, which at the time was God, which they were indoctrinated into. But
like Bach, the composer, he would dedicate his music to God. And I think if you whatever you do, like, as soon as you start doing things for, okay, I'm going to do this because I need the money, it's the love of the essence is gone. When you do something for the love of doing it, then that's a pure essence. And I think that's what the world around us is so monetized and so directed towards monetary gain. Whereas I think doing things for the love of doing it, that's where the magic is. As soon as you start bringing in money, that's when shit starts unraveling. Like, that's when people say, oh, why is he getting this? And, it's like, then people start. Fame is another funny one as well. Like, you've probably seen it yourself when you start getting recognized. It can change a person, but doing things for the love of doing it, that's where the magic is. Doing things because, like, you make a piece of music because you like doing the music. And when I got into music as a young fella, I was like, I want to be rich and famous and get loads of women. And I was like, that was the wrong fucking reason for doing it. And then it was only like, I'd put the cart before the horse. And it was only after a while I enjoyed playing music. And I was like, fuck all that other shit.
Do you have any things that keep popping into your head now or ideas.
There's a lot of things that we're talking about.
But you start going, I shouldn't be thinking that. But I think it. So why am I thinking it? Like, I am starting to think I don't think anyone under 35 should be allowed to vote or make decisions for society.
Not a bad idea, though.
And I was thinking about it because it's not it's like I watch stuff now, right? And I'm there. You have all these women and men giving advice to people in life about how to rear kids. They don't have their kids reared. Yeah. It's like, come back to me when you're 65 and you have 3 married kids that are in normal marriages that are working and they haven't fucked them up.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I could have fucked up one of my kids. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's the thing about Ireland. Like, when in the 90s, there was fucking kids everywhere. There was minibuses taking kids to teenage discos, and then later on when the kids came back from the teenage discos, a whole gang of young adults would go off to the adult discos. Do you see that nowadays?
No.
I don't see that in Swinford anymore. I don't see that in Mayo. People aren't having kids.
Yeah, we have a population problem.
We do. It's because we've been bought and sold this fucking hedonistic shit of culture saying, you know, it's only now, like, I have 2 kids.
Instead of you finding yourself, you should have been having babies.
Should have. But the thing is, they're expensive to have. I mean, I'm not saying, like, what I mean by that is, in this day and age, it takes, and like, how is it we have more kids in a time when there was less? You know, and I think because we've all been sold this.
We needed less because we didn't know what we needed. There wasn't as much out there.
Yeah.
There's so much now. Like, hindsight's great foresight, but if I could go back in the morning, I'd love to have been having kids when I was 20.
That's one thing I say. It's like, what are you missing out on?
My brother Greg, he's only 4 years older than me. That's it. We all grew up together, and they started early. Him and his woman started early, like 17, 16 years.
Really?
Yeah. And now he has, like
his kids are like his siblings almost.
His kids grew up.
Yeah.
They get on so well, and they've all done so well. And they're like, now we all work together. Like, his son works with him, and he's his youngest. And now he's like, fuck all difference in age with me. Him and his wife are living the dream.
Yeah, it's something that I look at, and we're told not to. Oh, the global population resources. That's all bollocks, man. It's all bollocks designed to, you see, here's the thing: strong family, strong community, strong nation. And every child is an arrow in your quiver. It's like yesterday, when we were helping my dad clean his house, I said, you know, isn't it great that you have kids that, like, me and my younger sister were there helping them out, and like, you know, obviously it was just like a thing that we were all doing together. But it's nice to know that when you get old, you have someone there who every now and again will fucking help you out, and to have, like, when you see a house that has grandkids in it running around, it's just like, but we've all been sold this. And I know a lot of people who, they're not going to have kids. Like, even I'm thinking, okay, I'm 42. Will I go again? Because the joy and the innocence that children bring to your life is a profound change. And it, like, as soon as your kids come along, it just changes you, and it takes a while to adjust. And you know, you like, the younger you are when you have kids, of course, the more
pressure, but you're more able for the pressure.
Yeah, but the thing is, you will make mistakes because you're learning what it means to become a parent. But it's the best thing I ever did, man. You know what I mean? And I owe that to my ex-wife. Like, she planned on having children with me, and I was like, all right. I was 28 when I had my daughter, and I'd be honest with you, like, like, I was on my way out to Hollywood, and I was in the office about 6 weeks before she was born. I was in Ivan House in Hollywood, and I was hanging out with the writers of the American Office, and they were like, "Oh, the Hardy Bucks, man, it's great." And there was one, me and Owen used to always go, "What she needs is a good shagging." Matt, see you later, yeah. And I kept going like this to them, right? Matt, see you later, yeah. Doing the day with Brent, like, "What, you're leaving?" I'm like, "Have you not seen the fucking English Office?" But I was on the cusp of breaking out massive, and then my daughter was born, and then I had to move to Sweden, and I was back and forth. And I was resentful because I was on the cusp. I knew where I was going to go. I kind of felt resentful. But looking back, I'm like, if I didn't have kids and I was just knocking around Hollywood, I would have been a wanker. Do you know what I mean? I would have been someone going around fucking saying, I was out with Al Pacino and you know what, like, if the big time comes around again, at least I've done it right this time. If it had come too easily, it would have came too quick, and you know, like 15 years would have passed.
For you, what is your definition of success?
It's a good question. You're a fucking great man for the questions. You should be on the Late Late Show, man.
Would I?
Yeah, but for real,
the only one I want to do is the Late Late Show.
But you know what?
I just go and rob all the ties and the shafts and fuck off home.
But you know, imagine Late Late Show with real fucking talk, like me saying fucking, but you know, proper questions.
This is no different than if you and me met in the bar.
Exactly, and that's what I've always been about as well. Just real talk. And for some reason, TV is like sponsors. Oh, cordial chat. Like if you look at these American, you know, like there's all these clips coming up on YouTube of like hot babes talking to Craig Ferguson. He's like, well, that's great. Oh, yeah. Oh, what's that? I'm too old, so I don't come across as creepy. All this fucking shit. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. It's all pub talk, man. Do you know what? And Tim Dillon had a great thing a couple of years ago. It's like, you know, you watch these talk shows. It's like, oh, Robert De Niro's talking to, you know, Jimmy Fallon. It's like, oh, I was in Italy last week. Oh, you were? So was I. You imagine you're working in a car factory in Ohio and you've got fibromyalgia and you're in debt and you listen to these assholes talking. And I was like, he's fucking 100% right.
See, but people now know that there's a team of writers behind them and it's just promotional stuff.
Wank, man.
Like most people know
fake shit.
That is all fake.
Yeah. This is real talk.
Yeah. But like, I always have this thing where if I put out a podcast, if most people like it, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk to so many different people and I want to grab as many. I want some people to think, oh, that one was good. I didn't like that one.
That's how I am. It's like I'd rather someone who really gets it on a profound level rather than a whole lot of people who are going to consume it and move on to the next thing. It's like pop music. Do you know what I mean? It's like whenever you hear like I'm love in a hopeless place, that's the song of the week or two on the dance floors, and then it's gone. And then it might end up on a playlist of nostalgia. Whereas if you like that's the Hardy Books podcast, if you're knocking around on the machines, please, Davey, I promise you, you'll fucking love it.
I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow.
It never really broke out big, and I suppose I'm just one man doing it all myself. But I promise you, there's things in there that you, especially the Hardy Book stuff, man. Some of my finest work, and not many people know about it. And the stuff I was listening to recently that hasn't been out yet, I'm like, just fucking finish it. Like I was lying awake until 5:30 one night listening to it, going, this is fucking brilliant stuff. Because I wrote it like 2 years ago and I'd forgotten about it. But it's like, it sounds like I'm blowing smoke up my own arse, but it's like, I enjoyed it. And because I'd forgotten I'd written it. You know what I mean? So
I think that's the best time. If you're doing something and you laugh at it, that's all you can do. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they
exactly.
don't.
But people who like it will fucking love it. Now back to the story about what does success mean though. I don't know. A legacy. A positive legacy. A family who you love and you're proud of. And I mean, like, material shit comes and goes, man. That's like, it's like, that's something that we all, you know, like, we look at someone who turns up in a cool car, it's like, oh, who is this person? It's just stuff. Like, if you could buy loads of shit, it's just stuff. But people are like, and I'm the same way. I was like there's a neighbor of mine who's got a nice G-Wagon V12, and I'm like, fucking hell.
360,000.
Yeah.
On the other night.
How much?
360,000 for a G-Wagon.
Like, because I don't know, but this guy gets his money. He's got a plaid Tesla SUV. He's got a Abarth Fiat 500, like sporty one, and he's got a V12. And like, where I live, like I'm just living an ordinary like fucking house in a posh area, and I feel like the fucking poor one in the middle of them all. And they're like all driving like, you know, like the i4 i40 BMWs and all these fancy, like, I met a guy, I was like cleaning my old Volvo at this self-service wash, and there's a guy with a Carrera 4S Turbo, old guy, and I'm driving this old like silver Volvo V40. I love it though, it's fucking great. But I'd had to take it to get new tires on it because I crashed into a curb and popped the tire, so I had the service wheel on it, and I hadn't washed it for about a year and it looked like shit. And I was asking this guy, how do I use the spray? And he's like, yes, you put in the card here, you take your tokens and you select one of these 4 options. I'm like, thanks very much, you've been very helpful. I was like, do you fancy swapping cars? He's like, haha, very good, very good. I was like, how is this? What's this, like 500 bhp? Yes, 495 actually. I'm like, how is it to drive? Oh, it's unreal. I was like, so are you going to give it a full wash? No, just washing the wheels. I was like, fuck me, man, these guys have mad money. Like, insane money. I'd never seen money like it till I went to Sweden. And then when I went to America afterwards, then that's another level. But there's old school money there, and it's just like, they dodged 2 world wars, and like, they've got fucking, like, the average person is loaded. And like, I come from a, average, like a working class Mayo family, and I'm over there just knocking around being like, should be crazy over here. I'm busting for piss as well. That's
well, like, do you want to promote a few of the podcasts before you go?
So the Hardy Bucks podcast, please check it out. It's very funny, and the more people that listen, the more I will do. And I've got to get on to Cuddy here because he's the right man for the job. And check out the EP. It's up there on Spotify. It's good stuff. I've heard some good reports, but I'm shit at self promotion because. Where we were raised, it's like, look at that lad, fucking.
Is it on
Spotify?
Like
iTunes?
if I put it on my phone, will it come out on Instagram for? Sorry.
God bless you.
For on a story or something.
Yeah, you probably could. I don't know. I'm not too up on it, but there's some good tunes. There's a song called Ziggy the Cat you might like. It's a song about
Ziggy the Cat.
Ziggy the Cat, you might like that. But I must go for a piss.
Anyway, right, just say goodbye to everyone.
Right. Well, thanks very much, everyone. What a show! I didn't expect to be here at midnight.
Is it midnight?
It's midnight.
How many hours have we done?
We're over 3.
Oh, Jesus!
3.5 hours. See, because I've not been on any podcasts. All the podcasts came out at once.
Right, so, cheers. I'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus Christ!
Hey, thanks a million for coming.
You're very welcome.
Come again next time you're down.
I will indeed. You're absolute legends.
And I'll have more nice whiskey for you.
Oh, I'll take 2.
Good luck.
Looking to bless.